Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cold villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos by the name Elzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds? And welcome to another black and white episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up 3 movies. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 551, recorded on Sunday, October 26th, 2025. Tonight, it's our big triple stuffed Halloween episode. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. We're talking about 3 Universal monster movies. They are Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, and The Wolfman. Before I get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy, Brand Diesel. What's up, Randy?
It's alive! It's alive!
I'm alive! What's going on, buddy? You ready to talk about some fucking stone cold motherfucking classics right here?
Stone Cold Steve Austin starring in all 3 of these films, if you were unaware.
That's right, yeah.
Now you know.
He's gonna go wild on your cracker ass.
He is. He's pouring Coors Light all over that corpse, and Frankenstein just wakes up, bolts upright. You love to see it. It is a lot.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got Shaboy Soju. What's up, man?
What up? It's your boy Frankensteins, aka the Halloween champion, boys. All right,
Oh.
4 years running. Here we go.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Actually,
God.
in honor of that, I made a game time decision.
Whoa.
Congrats on your 4th victory. And because of that, I'm going to be drinking not a pumpkin beer tonight, but instead a lovely pineapple soju that I've been waiting to drink.
In
So,
honor. All right.
well done.
I'm a
Thank you,
basic
sir.
bitch just drinking a pumpkin beer.
You're
What
about to get
I
tore
know.
up, Randy.
PSL loser. What's that?
You're about to get tore up.
I mean, it wouldn't be Halloween without it.
From the floor up. Dude, if they had a pumpkin soju, that would be
Whoa,
fire.
I know.
I don't think there's an if. I'm sure it must exist.
I'm gonna
somewhere.
brew it. That's gonna be my signature
Yeah.
soju. The Halloween
tub.
soju.
The PSL soju
made
Oh,
by
man.
Soju the Man.
Soju. Is that like
That's
Portugal?
gonna be
the
my
man, or-
soju brand. I'm gonna have my own
Soju the man.
Soju the Man soju.
The human being. It won't confuse anybody. It's very clear.
It's
I
very
think it's
clear.
branding 101. You just got to repeat that name. You just got to get it in there.
Barkeep, may I get a Soju the man soju, please? Pumpkin flavor.
Soju flavored soju from Soju. the
I
Man,
need
if you
a
will.
pumpkin flavored the Man soju. I mean Soju the Man.
Soju the Man.
Pumpkins.
You know what I'm saying. You know. You know.
Pumpkins.
All right.
Yes. Hit it while you can, Randy. Get it
Yep,
in.
I'm getting them in there.
Get it in. All right. Yes, Juice won all 4 of our polls, our like mystery triple feature polls that we've been doing over the past few years. He has somehow won every single time, which is
Already planning next year,
Insane.
boys. Got to keep that streak alive.
we
Yeah, sorry.
we did get a voicemail, which we'll if we have time to get to the voicemails, we'll get to them. But somebody did leave a voicemail. One of the things they were asking is if we would divulge what the other 2 mystery triple features were. Randy, do you want to spill those beans, or you want to hold on to them?
I kind of feel like we should hold on to him. I feel like maybe, and this
Should
is
we
me
use
floating
them?
an idea live on the air. Next year we do the also rans as our picks.
The what?
The ones that didn't win. We go back through the catalog of themes.
Wow.
Just
I mean,
Hit
I
it
don't
again.
have any choices there. I got
Yes, indeed, that is correct.
guess you got to sit it out, dog. Whoops.
I veto this.
All right.
I don't believe that. I believe majority rules, my man.
I
At least for the moment.
veto.
At least for another, I don't know, couple months.
Veto this. All right, let's get into a little bit of housekeeping before we hit these 3 films. We do have our November poll currently posted on our Patreon website. If you guys support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this November. The theme for November is Cornfields. We got 3 films prominently featuring cornfields. The movies are Children of the Corn, Jeepers Creepers, and Freddy vs. Jason.
Whoa, Bob, heading into the last week of October. This is it. Polls closing, Halloween shutting down. How are those numbers looking?
Man, it's
This
so
is
sad.
I know.
The numbers have shifted slightly. Last place still Children of the Corn with 27% of the vote. Jeepers Creepers second place with 31% of the vote. Freddy vs. Jason still in the lead with 42% of the vote.
Whoa, seems like it got a little bump there.
Little bump. Little bumper-rooney.
Good.
Fred VJ.
Well, I'm
Get those
looking
votes
forward to
in.
that. Yeah, wait, what is it? Cornfields, right? That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's appropriate
Cornfields. We
for
did not get
Thanksgiving.
clever with that name.
Yeah.
Just cornfields. It's just
It's
corn.
cornfields.
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 In the
What?
middle of
What do you want
October,
from
we're just
We want to
we're
go for
out
a
of steam. We
shuck
got
pun? I don't
we got
know.
nothing.
I don't think so.
November cornfields. Take it
Yeah.
or leave it.
Shuck me.
If you don't
Ain't
like
that
it,
just the way?
get out.
Get those votes in over the next few days. We'll see what movie we're talking about this November. We're still dropping minicast every single Friday over on our Patreon. Our final minicast of October dropping on Halloween Day. This is from your boy Rand Diesel talking about Hell House LLC Lineage. What a name.
Yeah, man. That's right. This is going to be an episode that I recorded a good while ago now and forgot all about.
Here it is. Coming
There
out.
it is.
It's
I'll
all
bet it's
happening.
great. That's my
It
wager.
usually is.
Yeah, and that just hit
Always.
Shudder, I believe, or it's about to hit Shudder. It's either on there or it's like just about to drop. I forget exactly when it's coming out, but you can check that out. I think they have like all 5 Hell House movies. There's a lot of them, and then check out Randy's thoughts after you watch that film.
Mhm.
In other Patreon news, we have one brand new Patreon supporter we got to give mad shouts outs to. This one is we finally are hearing from our boy Harry Wiener.
Oh, finally.
I
I've been
can't-
waiting for that guy to
I've been
show
hearing
up.
from that since middle school, by fan. I don't know.
Oh, middle school. What a flex. Yeah. Big thanks to our boy Harry Wiener for signing up on Patreon, showing us some love. We owe you the straight shilling salute. This one goes out to Harry Wiener.
Slap me in the ass.
Thanks, Harry. for
Thanks,
the
my guy.
ass slap.
I'm gonna have to remember that's considered a flex somehow.
And he is pounding that pineapple soju. Good God, dude. You just
We
did
got
2
3
shots
hours
back to
of
back.
this.
Shit
Yeah,
tastes
what
like
the-
candy. Look, I've got multiple drinks.
Oh, Randy's
on
got
hand. It's gonna be
multiples.
Get tore
It's
up.
Randy's just over here.
This might
having
be another Red
multiples.
Stag episode right here.
Love to see
I
it.
don't react to soju on the same level as other people. Okay, a little tolerant. Okay, okay, all right.
What
I
a
got this under
flex!
control. I got this under control since middle school. You
Randy's-
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just covered in hair, just drinking soju like water. Big thanks,
By the
Harry
end of this,
Wiener.
I'm gonna sound like this.
Randy just is the Wolfman by
Wolf,
the end of the
we don't
show.
know. Is it Wolfmang or is it Randy Mang?
I mean,
Sasquatch Mang. The last thing I got here is just a big, gigantic thank you to everybody who was able to make it for the 5th annual Chilloween party this past Friday. Awesome hanging out with all you guys. A big, gigantic thank you to Caitlin from Plug It Up Podcast for hosting our trivia. And shouts outs to everybody who was able to make it and hang out. Yeah, we had a great time.
it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
that was a nice turnout, some excellent costumes, and some prizes going out to some of those folks real soon. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that, dear sweet winners who have been notified.
Some killer stooms on the
Mhm.
call there. You love to see it. All right, yeah, that's all I have. Do you guys have anything you need to plug?
Yeah, just want to give a big shouts outs to everyone who came out to our yearly Halloween party this year. It was a huge turnout. It was a lot of fun, big success, and shouts outs to everyone. Sean from Dark Side of Soul, his book was released that day, and He was there helping out with all the games, and that was a lot of fun. And shouts outs to Joey, who owns the DCC, for hosting and putting everything together and making signature cocktails. We had our signature straight chilling cocktail there again. Had a couple of those. Had some gummy worms in it this year. It was very
Oh my God.
delish.
Is it like half Malort, half Red Stag?
Oh
Drop a
yeah,
gummy worm in it.
it is
And a
red.
gummy worm. No, that's the
So,
RFK Jr.
Oh my lord. But no, yeah, it was a ton of fun. Thanks to everyone who came out for trivia. Trivia was a big success, and yeah, got to give out some fun Halloween gift prizes and stuff, and it was a good celebration of the season. So thanks to everyone who came out.
I'm always super jealous. It always looks like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It
Glad you
was
guys had a good time.
packed this year, like
I saw.
packed with like
Hell yeah.
moving tables and shit. It was a lot of fun though.
Gotta make a little extra room for the orgy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
Assholes and
Halloween
elbows in there,
orgy.
man. Damn.
It's the
I
best
see it
one
every
of the
day.
year.
Yeah, it is the best. It's my favorite orgy of
I
the
know
year.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Bob.
Bob comes
I've
quicker
been-
than Halloween, am I right?
You're right, Bob.
Damn it!
You are right, Bob.
You are
Famously
correct.
correct.
Boys,
I always say that you're
I say-
right.
I say it every day. You know, Bob's right.
You know,
You know
my
that-
boy Bob, he's pretty right most of the time.
Pretty right. Are we clean? Are we squeaky?
I think we're clean.
Oh, we're clean. Here we go.
Nice.
This house is clean.
All right, let's get in the main event. We're kicking it off with ya boy Frankenmang with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Whoa, Randu.
There it is.
Yeah.
Man,
Your-
I
your
never
hand-
get the whoa.
I know you're handling it this week, but I don't think
I was
you
excited.
have this box. Probably not.
I don't. I toyed with the idea of finally getting that whatever that Blu-ray big like the classics 50 movie collection that came out a little bit ago. You know,
Hell
Bob knows what I'm talking
yeah.
about. This guy knows what I'm fucking talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
But you can only
Oh,
count it
man.
as one, though. It's just one purchase, so
One.
it
Just
averages
the
at
one
like
purchase.
$4. You know, because it's just
Per
one purchase.
disc.
I think it's important
You
that you
gotta
guys
average it
figure
out.
this out before we move on.
It's simple math.
This 50 movies, you can only count that as one. I mean, it was $4.
You average it out.
Where did Bob go wrong? Were he and his friends sifting way too long through those Blu-ray bins? And it gets worse, he'll have no jet ski, wasting all his dough on those DVDs.
All right. Shut up about physical media already. All right. I don't own the box. I'm reading off IMDb. I rented it like any good red-blooded American man should,
Rented it.
and streamed it.
Oh, okay.
Digital rent. Whatever you want to fucking call it. It's the right thing to do. Anyway, here's what IMDb says as their back of the box entry. Dr. Henry Frankenstein is obsessed with assembling a living being from parts of several exhumed corpses. Straight and to the point there.
There you go.
Nice.
Mhm.
1931, the OG.
Yeah.
OG. I love how all these movies are like just over an hour long.
Oh, it was beautiful. Haven't
Nice and
watched
short.
three
It's not a bad
movies.
thing.
They're just like what, an hour 10 minutes, right at like
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. That's
Yeah.
great.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see it. Obviously based on Mary Shelley's famous ass novel,
Loosely.
loosely.
Yeah.
Quite loosely, yeah.
Oh, it's
but,
got the name. They got that.
Directed by James Whale. This and The Invisible Man. James Whale. We'll talk about him a little bit. And who's in this, Randy? Who stars in this
Oh,
film?
you want to know who's in this?
You gotta let
Question
me
mark
know.
as the monster, as we all know.
We know.
Colin Clive as our Dr. Henry Frankenstein. Mae Clark as our Elizabeth. John Bowles as our the character-free character Victor, who's just a guy that happens to be there sometimes. And then Dr. Waldman, it was Edward Van Sloan. That's probably the principal cast there.
Yeah.
Of course,
Boris
question
Karloff
mark
is
equals
the
Boris Karloff.
the
Yes.
question mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Boys, have you seen this before? Bob, kick us off.
Thank you, just yeah, I'd seen this at least once before, probably a couple times, not a whole heck of a lot. It's not something that I grew up with or anything like that. I did not grow up watching any of these movies. I definitely, I think, probably watched these for the first time in my 20s. So, seen it a few times, definitely would recommend it. I mean, if you're a horror head, it's sort of like mandatory viewing to give all these Universal monster movies at least a once over, because they're just like so incredibly influential. Yeah, treat yourself. I'd recommend it. Yeah. Juice, what about you?
I had seen this only once before. I think it was about 2 years ago now. My Halloween run for the year was a bunch of these old Universal monster films that I'd never seen before, and just other, just like old school stuff from the 30s, not exclusively Universal monsters, but I did watch this one, Bride of Frankenstein, stuff like that. And yeah, so I think I was a little nervous because you don't know how something from 100 years is going to kind of hold up, and it's got so much reputation around it. I mean, it's parodied to death, and there's just, so many just iterations of it and stuff like that. But I actually thought at the time, and even still today, that it held up quite well, and that people should check it out. I mean, even just not even necessarily just horror fans. I think that this is a classic cinema, um
Cinema.
and a cultural icon. So yeah, I think people should check this out, especially around spooky season. I think keeping some kind of tradition of life, throwing these old black and white horror films on monster movies for the Halloween season is perfect. So yeah, I would recommend people check
I
this
just
out.
get so excited about all that boogeyman
The
bullshit.
Boogeyman
Same.
bullshit. Randy, had
Love
you
it.
seen this before? Would you recommend people check it out?
I have seen this film. I want to say, I think similar. I think my answer is going to be very similar to Bob's. It was probably twice. I think I saw it once when I was maybe like 10 or 11 and on an AMC horror, whatever, their horror marathons they did around Halloween back in the day. They might still. I don't know. I don't have cable. But yeah, I didn't I didn't have like a real strong connection with it then. So I revisited it and sat down and intentionally watched it along with a few of these other Universal classic monster movies, probably around the same time you did, Bob, in my 20s sometime. And yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. It's a little bit like eating your greens. Like, I think your mileage may vary as people removed 100 years from the source material and having also seen every possible variation on this just about done to death. It's a little bit harder to go back to the well on this one, I would say, than some of the other ones we're going to talk about tonight, which were relatively fresh to me. But yeah, I think it's necessary viewing. Get the ground level, get your your baseline for what Frankenstein culturally is, and yeah, like to Juice's point, yeah, it does hold up for what it is. For being 100 years old, there you could do it could be a whole hell of a lot worse, but it's nice, tight, compact story. And we'll go through all the other like positives and negatives here in a second. But generally, yes, I would recommend it's at least homework, and at best, it's a movie you're going to enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah, it does have an element of like feels like you're doing your homework a little bit, but especially because just the story of Frankenstein is like everybody knows it. It's inescapable. You're just so infinitely aware of it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, check it out. That sounds like a just a straight up recommend, not even loose at all, really.
Solid recommend.
Solid recommend from the Straight Chilling crew. We're gonna be spoiling Frankenstein, I guess. Like what happens.
We're going to
but here
try our
comes-
damnedest.
Here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Randu, whoa, got that plot synopsis.
I do have a plop synopsis. Plopped it out this afternoon. Here we go.
All right.
We open on a funeral. that is secretly observed by the manic scientist Dr. Henry Frankenstein and his lab assistant Fritz. After the proceedings, they dig up the corpse that was buried, and cart it back to their laboratory. From there, Fritz is tasked with breaking into a medical college where a Dr. Waldman is seen teaching. Under cover of night, Fritz breaks in and steals a brain that's labeled abnormal. Meanwhile, the doctor's fiance, that's Dr. Frankenstein's fiance, rather, Elizabeth draws concern that the doctor's obsessive and isolated research which he insists must be completed before they are to be wed. She approaches his friend Victor and their old professor, Dr. Waldman, and the three set off to the doctor's secluded tower lab and try to speak sense to him. As a large lightning storm begins, Dr. Frankenstein prepares to utilize the lightning in his mysterious experiment. It is at this very moment that Elizabeth, Victor, and Dr. Waldman arrive and insist to be let in. After protesting, Dr. Frankenstein eventually relents. He insists on showing them his experiment's focus, a patchwork corpse, which he intends to jolt back to life with a lightning bolt. As the experiment then proceeds and shockingly works. The corpse is revived by the lightning bolt, to the three visitors' horror. Dr. Frankenstein is elated, and Fritz takes this opportunity to taunt the creature, threatening him with a fiery torch. Upon becoming violent, the men lock the creature away. Sometime later, Fritz taunts the monster again, which angers him, and he kills Fritz by hanging. The doctors attempt to use sedatives to subdue the creature, and this works for a time. The men then determine that the creature must be killed. The doctor, that's Dr. Frankenstein. I don't know why I wrote the doctor for him. There's two doctors here. The doctor and Elizabeth leave to prepare for their wedding, and Dr. Walden is tasked with ending the creature's new life. However, Dr. Walden, too, is killed, and the monster escapes from the lab. He wanders the countryside and eventually encounters a young girl named Maria, who invites him to play. The two enjoy picking flowers and tossing them into a lake until the creature, in ignorance, throws the little girl into the lake as well, killing her. As Henry and Elizabeth prepare for their wedding day, Maria's father carries the young girl's corpse to the proceedings, frightening and enraging all the villagers. At the direction of the burgomaster, the villagers raise their torches and pitchforks and begin a sweeping hunt of the countryside. As this happens, the creature finds his way into Elizabeth's wedding chambers and attacks her. She is found shortly after alive, though unconscious. As the search continues, Dr. Frankenstein is taken by surprise and knocked out by the creature. The creature takes the doctor to a secluded windmill and holes up there. The two fight, and Henry is knocked out and falls from the structure. The villagers then set fire to the windmill. The creature is trapped and dies among the flames. Maybe. The doctor survives and is cared for at his family estate, where his father and their servants toast to the future of the Frankenstein family. Roll credits. There you go.
What an ending, man.
That's wild.
Cheers to the Frankenstein.
He's alive and all is well. Just one little girl and a couple of people dead. No big deal.
No big
His
deal.
dad is a piece of shit. I mean,
His dad is like aloof fucking weirdo.
when he's drinking that wine, he's like, "Oh, don't waste it on the staff. Give them
Dude, I know.
champagne." Yeah, it's like, God damn.
Little daddy.
God damn.
I will say it's such a weird choice, and one thing that's very frustrating to me. There's some particular choices that I'm gonna kind of bitch about today. I'm gonna mostly praise this movie because it is really cool to go back and revisit it. But one thing that just really doesn't make a lick of sense to me is, so in the original novel, the character's name is Victor Frankenstein. They change it to Henry, which is okay, I guess, except that they have another character, his fucking friend, whose name is Victor. Why would
who
you do
accomplishes
that?
nothing throughout the
Why would
entire
you do
film.
that? Why would you fucking do that?
It's confusing. You're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Who?
Yeah.
It is very confusing. Like, I don't know. Like, even now, because I've seen Young Frankenstein far more than I've seen this film, and I like the source material has been adapted usually with the name Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. Like, I have a hard time watching this for that reason. It is annoying. I did read part of the trivia is that I guess they just thought American audiences would think the name Victor was too severe, just too much. Audiences aren't ready for
Severe?
Victor.
But
But there's still a
they're still
character
in
named.
the
I know. I
What
know.
the fuck?
There's a
They should have
damn
just called him Hanky
Burgermeister
Panky
in there, but
Frankenstein.
Victor
That
is.
should have been his name, so that
God.
American audiences wouldn't be terrified by the name Victor.
God damn, dude.
We just aren't ready
Weird.
for them V
But then they just
names.
concluded it anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's Victor.
Mm,
But yeah,
They
I
call him
will
Vic.
say that the sets in this are one of the things that are
Mm.
fucking awesome. I really do
Yeah.
love the sets. The windmill is such a fucking cool
mhm.
setting for this.
Mhm.
And I'm so the black and white of this, especially, all three films that we're watching tonight are black and white, but I don't know, something about this one. I don't really know anything about, the filming process or why something would look different, the lighting, I guess, but something about this black and white just looked richer to me than the other two films that we're going to talk about tonight. It just like looks fantastic still. And
Mhm.
some of it's because of the scenes that are set up. I know like the I think the opening scene where there's like a corpse hanging and just the graveyard and they go dig up the
Mhm.
corpse, and but then also the windmill too, the kind of shape of it and everything. It just like looks fantastic, a lot of this film.
I mean, I gotta
Yeah.
agree with that. Like, oh, Bob, were you gonna say something? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, go ahead, man. I'll jump in after you.
Yeah, I mean, like part of the trivia that I would have covered is that like James Whale was heavily and intentionally following the lead of German expressionism. So he watched like the Golem, he watched Dr. Caligari and things like Metropolis, things like that to sort of like wet his whistle a little bit. And it's not as stylish as those films, but it does do, if I may borrow a phrase from our friend Nicole, does light and shadow quite well. And it really
The
like leans on
chiaroscuro.
contrast. Yeah, and the sets, some of the sets I guess were reused from The Cat and the Canary, I believe it was from the year prior, which is surprising because like they're so iconic to this film now because this movie is just like so like it's just one of the a top of mind kind of movie when you're thinking about horror, and so it's influenced a lot of things. And basically, the Gothic castle, as we understand it, is largely influenced by this. So yeah, I think it's really beautiful. I think because it's like pulling from very artful sources and its inspiration, it's doing a better job than our other two movies because those movies are pulling from this. It's like the copy of a copy problem. So that's my
Yeah,
assumption. Anyway.
Talking to
you
you,
can
AI.
definitely get a feel that he was watching those earlier German expressionist movies. There's like really deep shadows, a few scenes with like extreme kind of angles and like
Hmm.
you get that vibe for sure. And yeah, just the imagery in this is so absolutely iconic. That windmill, I mean, they built it at the Epic theme park or whatever down in
I was going to
Orlando,
ask you
which
about that.
I
Like you
haven't.
guys go to the theme parks every so often. You haven't been to this one though yet, have you?
No, we haven't been down there yet. But that was part of the like, there's a whole like Universal monster like area, and the windmill is there, and they also the like Romani sort of wagon situation from the Wolfman is there as well. Um, there's like a castle and stuff, but we haven't actually been to see it yet. But yeah, that windmill is absolutely amazing. Also, just like the general look and design of the creature with like the
Hmm.
big square head and the bolts in his neck, and like the way that he or the electrodes, I should say, the way that he moves, even the way that he's introduced, where he like walks in through the door backwards slowly and then turns around. Like all that stuff is just so like actually iconic, and like you have seen these things even if you haven't seen this movie.
Right.
It's inescapable. Even the scenes with like the rioters like chasing down the streets with their pitchforks and like walking up to the windmill and like all that stuff just looks beautiful, man. All three of these movies I think do look beautiful, but this one does have kind of a little extra something, which is interesting because it's
Mhm.
older. I think the look of the other two is a little cleaner, maybe less extreme, being less influenced by those earlier German expressionist movies from the 20s and stuff, but it's got
Well,
a
it's
great look.
designed too, like this one too. I mean,
Yeah.
even the spaces within the windmill, like
Yeah.
the space where they keep the monster at one point in the dungeon, and again, like when Fritz dies and the way that they play with the shadows and the angles, it does have a lot of that like kind of Caligari kind of feel to it and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no.
I was gonna say like the only like movie that that I can think of that really has a similar vibe is Dracula, which is I guess shouldn't be surprising, but it's not quite the same. It's not like a stone cathedral almost of a castle in that movie. It's really like I don't know. It's a little bit different. I don't know the styles of these architecture or whatever, but I think it works really nicely in both, and I think both are approached a lot more artfully than some of these later ones were when they were like, oh, okay, the monster boom started, and especially once we get to like Wolfman and stuff for all of its goods, bads, or whatever else, like it's a little sparse in the visual department, and part of that is just that they don't have a monolithic castle or an amazing like windmills like set. Everything's a little bit more grounded and a little bit more stage looking,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
little. I think Wolfman looks fucking awesome, but yeah, it doesn't have that one big giant gothic thing
thing,
in
yeah.
it. It definitely doesn't have that.
It's got low-lying fog though, baby. Boy, does it have a lot of low-lying fog.
I love the fog, and I got some trivia about the fog, but we'll get to that. We're not talking
We'll
about that
get
yet.
to
We'll get
that.
there.
Yeah,
But yeah, going back to like Rob kind of brought up, and we teased it a little bit last week, is this, I mean, this is going to be the definitive style that you're gonna see for the Frankenstein's monster. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
hulking giant with the kind of flat top head
Yeah.
and
The hyper lobotomized, brainless version.
yeah, and
and
the bolts in the neck and the kind of, well, I mean, this is black and white, but the green skin and the,
Mhm.
that big black jacket that he's usually wearing, the duster,
Platform
maybe we could call
shoes.
the big, yeah, fat ass platform shoes. Um, and that's just a really cool design. I think it's really brilliant too, because I mean, in that is one thing that in the novel that there is, and he's a pieced together corpse. I mean, they do talk about his like having like I think long black hair and like yellow eyes and things like that. But
Mhm.
I mean, it's just a pieced together corpse, and of course, pieces of it were rotting or discolored, and that's why it looked disgusting. So to be able to be like, okay, we gotta create a monster look, we gotta create this
yeah,
thing. And I think they nailed it, and
Yeah.
it's iconic for a reason. It has lived on now 100 years. That any child at any age to have any picture of Frankenstein in their mind and in our culture is going to imagine this
yeah.
thing.
For a century, it has
You know,
lasted. Like
Yeah.
how many things can you say? Like, 100 years ago, this movie that came out, people like know it. Like it's ingrained in their brain. It's like,
they
it's a
don't have
short list.
the osmosification of this is crazy. Like
It
it's
is, yeah.
really just like one of those things that you cannot avoid if you engage with culture at all.
And not
Yeah.
just that, I mean, even if people didn't even, I mean, everyone kind of knows the "It's alive" line
Mm-hmm.
too. Anyone would know that. Not horror fans, not
Yeah.
film fans, everyone
Mm-hmm.
within our culture
If you've seen
will
a Pepsi commercial in
associate,
your
yeah,
life,
"It's
Yeah,
alive"
totally.
with
Yeah.
Frankenstein. Which is
well,
crazy that it's so iconic in that way. And yet, and it's probably, this is the thing, is I mean, it's done so many times, literally it's just completely ingrained in pop culture and just every aspect. This is in video games, this is in comics, this is in commercials, this is in literally anything. And I never saw it until 2 years ago, for the first time. I didn't
mhm.
need to, I mean, but I knew all the beats and everything of it. But it's just so crazy that it's just an essential part of our cultural experience, I guess.
Well, it goes even beyond that because like when we talk about horror movies, like so many horror movies like that don't have a whole lot of connective tissue to this are still Frankenstein stories. Just the idea of science run amok. This is the flashpoint for that idea in popular culture. Like very few other fucking stories are referenced as frequently as this is in criticism, in thinking about story and the way things work on film and beyond film.
Mm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
The
The
cultural impact can't be
hubris,
overstated,
yeah.
especially for this one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People even use it like in modern day language, like as a verb to like Frankenstein something, like piece
Yeah.
something together.
Mhm.
It's wild. I think there a little bit of trivia about all these movies. There's that shock theater package that came out in the late 50s, 1957, where it's just like a whole bunch of monster movies that were just constantly
Mhm.
aired on television. And like all these were part of that. So they got their big release in the 30s, and then again like in the late 50s had a bit of a resurgence because they were just always playing for free on TV when that was, widely available in the 50s. So that I think that definitely helped sort of remind everybody like, hey, remember these spooky creatures or whatever? And then like our parents grew up watching them and like I'm
Right.
sure on some level wanted to show them to us when we were kids growing up. And of course, like we mentioned, there's like commercials, cartoons, borrow from this all the time. It's
Monster
just
Mash. I mean,
everywhere. The
it
fucking
really like
Monster Mash, yeah.
I genuinely think that like the shock theater thing is almost equally responsible for the legendary status that this
I think
movie
so, yeah.
holds because that allowed children to see it like and regularly and kids latch on to these monsters, man. There's a reason that there's 100 different fucking kid-friendly versions of Frankenstein in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um so I don't know. It's really like it's kind of an amazing, amazing kind of film for all of those reasons. And it's strange to watch it just as a movie. It feels a little weird.
It does.
It's
Yeah.
got a lot of weight behind it. Yeah.
Right.
We-
You feel like you have to be crushingly in love with it. And that's not how you really engage with most movies. You just kind of go in and you
yeah.
watch it and you evaluate it for yourself. So like objectivity is kind of hard to come by with a movie that's this ingrained in your brain and everybody else's.
We're often, fairly critical of movies on here, but like to really criticize this in any way, even if there are things that you really don't like about it, feels like
Mhm.
fucking pointless,
Pissing in the
because
wind, dude.
it is, yeah, like why even bother? I don't know. I
I
don't know.
don't think this
Well, let's
movie's gonna
criticize
really
this thing.
amount to much.
Right.
I don't think this
You
Karloff
gotta
film's
do
going
better than
anywhere.
that. Yeah. Look here, Mr. Whale. You got to bring your A game next time, okay? I did want to talk about James Whale a little bit. I've known that he was a gay man living in the 30s, which has got to be difficult. But I like read a bit of trivia that it was sort of like an open secret. Like people just kind of knew, but I'm sure didn't really talk about it much. And like I was thinking about that watching this and The Invisible Man back to back about a gay man who was working as a director in the 30s, and like both of those movies have a lot of similarities in them, like about these brilliant scientists that abandon their fiancées to go off and experiment, and in this case to create a man. Like I don't know, it's just watching it through a queer lens this time added a new layer for me that maybe made it feel a little more rich and a little less like, okay, I know the story of Frankenstein, but
You let that marinate for another like 10 or 12 years, and you'll probably end up writing Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Whoa.
you might be onto something there, Randy.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is there's so many differences too to that. So I was just looking up I was trying to look who the writer was in connection to that, Bob. But I mean, there's so many different Garrett Fort was one of the screenplay writers on here. But I mean, just the friend and I mean it's completely different, honestly. It's like it's not even
from the book?
really yeah, from the book,
Oh,
just
it's
the
insanely
different,
different.
just like
And
almost not even close to being like
It's
so
the difference
loose
in
of
the
an
monster is so
adaptation.
fascinating to me. Like, cause like I kind of think they're both valid in their own ways. Like both are kind of abominations that you kind of feel bad for, but for like not even really different reasons. Just it feels different because one of them gets the agency to sort of like scheme and plot and cause havoc and become the monster, lean it, do that Tyrion Lannister thing of like I want to be the monster you think I am sort of thing, and that's so fascinating. But for an hour-long movie it would be a lot, so I don't like, while I don't necessarily understand why they what the benefit of this change was in the minds of the executives. To me the benefit is like sometimes you they created a life and that life is a misery. It's just a misery of a life from a creature that had no say in anything and still does not have really any agency, at least not on the same level as his creator. So he's just lumbering about reacting to things in ignorance, and that is its own kind of horror. I don't know, I really love like thinking about the disparity between those two creatures.
I think this one is more or seems more critical of the science of
Yeah, I think that's true.
the approach of science, because everyone's kind of there. It's not just Victor. In the original, it's kind of Victor's fault. He gets scared, he abandons it, he loses control, he thinks he's in control, he wants to achieve these things, and he achieves it without thinking of the consequences and completely
Mhm.
abandons it because he's a coward, and he just
Mhm.
so he doesn't take
Dan's the real
responsibility.
monster.
But in this one, it's like literally everyone else is there and involved and knows what's going on. There's another doctor, and it's just this observation that they're trying to, study and look at and stuff. And then
Mhm.
Fritz, goddamn Fritz is a piece of shit. And one thing I was thinking about, one thing that's really interesting, talking about how iconic this is, when I first watched this, I was like, wait a second, his name is Fritz? And that was like,
Mhm.
where the fuck do we get Igor from? Because in the
Yeah.
novel, there is no assistant. There's no Igor. There's no hunchback. There's none of that. So then I was like, well, where the fuck do we get Igor from? And because that's another thing. I think if anybody heard the name Igor, they would just think it's the assistant to Frankenstein. And I guess it was Son of Frankenstein where the character of Igor is originally introduced. I thought that is so fucking wild to me
Yeah.
that we
That's the
just
thing is like,
associate that with Frankenstein, but it's not even in this film and it's not in the novel.
well, that's another like cultural like psychosis thing. Like there's a lot of that around the movies that reach this level of consciousness, and like how it's become a fucking a running gag when somebody's like, "Oh, it's Frankenstein's monster." Actually, oh, like these misunderstandings that used to exist become tropes and memes in and of themselves, like because of how like society interacts with the artwork. It's really crazy when that sort of thing takes on a life of its own, and it stops being just like just like a flub or a weird decision by the studio and starts being like canonized in its own way. And now you have fucking Igor in Young Frankenstein, and you
Sure.
have like all these characters that like all these things, these little things that like are not actually from the source material, but it like just lived on in its own way. Yeah, I don't know. It's just strange, man. It's really hard to think of this movie as a movie.
Yeah.
It's so much more.
I,
I what one thing they do in this that really did shock me is
whoa.
they murder a child in this
Mm,
movie from
Pre-Hays
1931.
Code.
Yeah, that's fair. People really bristle at that even to this day in movies.
Hmm.
But to see it happen in this old ass black and white movie, man, I can only imagine what the audiences thought of it when they were in the theater watching this back in the 30s. Like that's pretty intense. It's a great scene too. He just doesn't really
It's
know what he's
maybe the
doing,
best
and
scene,
yeah, it's when I
honestly.
think of this movie, other than like, the It's Alive thing, that's the first scene that I think of when they're throwing the flowers in the lake and then he kills the
Hmm.
girl. Yeah,
hmm
another
Well, I mean,
iconic
because it's
moment.
like the entire pathos around the creature of the monster is basically without that scene, you don't really have a strong claim to it. I think that scene like solidifies that this is a creature that's walking around that has some awareness, but it's very very dull awareness, and he has no capability of understanding right from wrong, social mores, any of the things that make a person walking down the street not necessarily dangerous to people. You know what I mean? But maybe more dangerous to people in argument. So like I don't know. I think without it, it really does the worst version of of the Frankenstein's monster, because the original is so smart and Machiavellian and is so grappling with his identity as like this revived undead creature. This guy, he's not grappling with shit except he's scared of fire and he doesn't know where he is, doesn't know who means harm to him or who these people are, what this little girl wants. He just knows he's having a good time with her throwing things in the lake, and he throws her in the lake and walks away happy. And he doesn't know that he's murdered a child.
hmm
Like it's fucked. It's very like it's just such an important scene to me. I don't think that this movie. I think this movie suffers a lot without it, and I think that there was originally they when they were floating Bela Lugosi as the monster, they did some test footage. This is some of the trivia with Bela on the set of Dracula, with him doing a whole different sort of like look, a whole different thing. And it, but they were building off of a script that was like basically that, like the worst version of Frankenstein, that is just a lumbering, monstrous beast with poor intentions towards humanity. That's all he was, and that's like James Whale rejected that script and basically rewrote it entirely, is my understanding. So, or no, he didn't rewrite it, but it was rewritten, I believe, at his bequest, but at his request, or at somebody's. At some point, that somebody came along and was like, no, there needs to be some sort of driving force for this creature, and thank God, because I feel like some of these monster movies, especially as they continue on and it's more like a money grab situation, they stop doing that. They stop caring about introducing a reason for anything to happen. They just need. It's the same as any horror. It's a tale as old as time in the horror circles. Like
Yeah, for
you
real.
repeat it enough, you don't need to go into the silly little details about why this creature's killing things. You just let him kill things. Like, I'm glad that this like exists in the form that it does. Is I guess what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Any other major points you guys want to touch on before we rate Frankenmang?
I think the only other like important thing to know is one of the big differences too is the idea of a brain. It's almost the way that they set it up is almost like the monster doesn't have a choice. Like Fritz fucks it up. He takes a criminal's brain. Again, that's not something that happens in the original story. So I don't think they drive it home as well. Like they've taken these pieces, but it is, he does seem innocent, but they need to make him a villain, and I don't think they put the full weight of the guilt or the villainy onto Henry, aka
Yeah.
Frankenstein the
Yeah.
doctor. And they kind of create these outs for themselves, which I think was maybe important for the or was like the standard for the time, 1931. Everything's more black and white. You have a hero, you have a villain, and
Right.
oh, he's got a
You can't have an
criminal's brain.
anti-hero.
Yeah, it's not, and even though, the whole thing is like the monster, and the way that Mary Shelley wrote it is he is sympathetic, and Victor is a piece of shit, and doesn't take responsibility for his fuck ups, and but in this way it's like, oh, it's a criminal's brain. He was gonna be
Yeah.
violent anyways, and then he kills the innocent
That's the
doctor.
thing.
And so
Yeah.
even though Fritz is a huge piece of shit, and you're like, fuck you, Fritz, yeah, you got
Dude,
yours,
Fritz
whatever.
sucks. That's the same actor that did Renfield too. That guy's got a niche.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and it's
But
great. Honestly, his
yeah.
performance is fabulous in both movies, may I say. He's one of my
Typecasted.
he's one of my favorite actors in the movie, just because like he's so like the actions are hateable enough on their own, but he's got that same energy as like the one of the Sawyer family in the original Texas Chainsaw, where it's just like a
Yeah, the
manic,
brother,
like
yeah.
like a deranged joy of seeing pain in others. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I just
yeah,
want to bring that
totally
up.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Definitely. Let's go and rate this thing out of 5. Rand Diesel, kick us off, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, really tough to think of this on the same metric as other movies because of its reputation. Part of me just wants to give it a 5 just because its reputation is what it is. But trying to think of it objectively, it is beautiful to look at. Juice, you made that point, and it is very true. This is basically one of the better looking American original run horror movies of that sort of introduced the idea of horror as a genre. It's a standard bearer for a reason. It looks fucking amazing. The makeup looks great. Some of the decisions are like went on to become iconic, but are a little bit baffling in the moment. Maybe I don't know, like the flat top. I don't know. I guess that's something you could do. It turned out really great in the end, but
I guess
strange choices. Renaming of characters, like concern about people not knowing that not thinking Victor is an approachable enough name or whatever, like strange stuff. And it's pretty short, and I would say, like, as much as I do give credit for them to giving the creature some pathos, I wish he had more. I do wish that we had spent my modern eyes wants there to be a little bit more meat on the bone. I want there to be a little bit more of a comeuppance or a reckoning for Henry, and I think they neutered the situation with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, like in the version of the story that would be more impactful to me, she probably dies. Victor, or I'm sorry, Henry probably dies as well. But he like like you said, Justin, like it doesn't really hold accountable the people that need to be held accountable for the idea of science run amok to truly, truly, truly hold its water. I think that you said that you think this one leans more into that. I think the original kind of does more, because it's more philosophical in general. Like the Mary Shelley version, it's that like she was reacting to whatever the science of the day was, chemicals and that sort of thing, and this one is like dealing with electricity and shit that like people were like aware of but didn't know the full power of, or didn't I don't know. I think that they both share that, and I think this one does it a little bit weaker because they're trying to tailor it to audiences, and that's just a foible of the movie industry, I guess. So anyway, I'm going in circles here. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 with a slight ding, just because I think that a lot of that stuff, if I'm trying to be objective, seems more erroneous than it seems right. So I'm going to go with that. But there's a lot to love here, and the reputation really does give it a hefty boost for me.
Randy, 4.5, leaving room to grow for Frankenstein. Maybe it'll get there.
Maybe another 100 years I'll see the light, you know?
Juice, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, again, this has iconic status, and it's not like what we say is going to affect or change anything. But I mean, I do think that as a film, there are things that can be critiqued. Of course, you have to consider that it was made 100 years ago, but still, I mean, the ending is quite weird. It's just weird. Why would you end like that? It doesn't really make any sense.
Oh,
They didn't really
Yeah,
figure
just
out endings in this
yeah,
era yet.
it's just not. But I mean, Caligari. We've covered old films and stuff like that. So I mean, there are some weird choices that are taken. For the most part, I think that this, lives up to its status. And when I watched it for the first time, I was very pleased that it held up so well. But I mean, even at that time, I thought, oh, like the dad character is very strange, and even just the dynamic. I mean, it's very over the top, Elizabeth and what's going on with their wedding and all that kind of stuff. Just the relationships that are going on. The friend of Victor, like we say, he doesn't do fucking shit anyways. It's just there's some weird dynamics going on here, which leads to some weird choices. But all the positives that we mentioned still hold up extremely well. The look, the design, and then some of the changes are for the better, I think. But I don't think it holds Victor accountable in the way that Mary Shelley does. And there's so many adaptations that have been able to build off of this that make it a little more dramatic or make it a little bit more extreme, that when you actually watch this one, it feels like a little bit lesser than, because so many things have stood on the shoulders, of course, and built off of it. But then at the same time, the transformation scene, like it's alive, was a little less than I thought it was going to be in some cases. And so the performance is good, but just the overall spectacle surrounding it is a little bit less. So ultimately, I'm going to give it a 4. I know that's might be a little ridiculous, but why would you change his name to Henry and then put Victor in there?
Ridiculous.
And what's up with the dad? What are they doing there? What's going on with that and the ending? And I think there's some things to critique about this film. Not like it would change anything at all. But
Apologize.
that's true for new films too. It's not like what I say matters. So fuck it. 4.
I think
fuck
the weird
it.
tastemakers here on this podcast, and we're about to
Fuck
make
it.
or break the reputation of
Frankenstein,
Frankenstein.
1931.
From
100 years later,
1931.
we're about to cripple this film.
Finally
Rob.
weighing in.
Oh, hi there.
Out of 5, we're gonna rate Frankenbang.
Yeah, I kind of like my personal enjoyment when I watch this isn't necessarily through the roof or anything, but I try to put myself in the shoes of someone in 1931 watching this for the first time, where like the universal monsters do not exist. Like these movies don't exist. You don't have a century's worth of like Frankenstein riffs and references and embellishments and sequels like drilled into your brain. And like I can't imagine what seeing this creature for the first time on the big screen would feel like in the theaters in 1931. Like, I'm sure it was just blowing people's minds.
These
So,
same people
like,
probably screamed at that fucking footage of a locomotive coming towards the camera. So, I mean,
probably. I don't know. Just thinking of it in that way, it really does. It clearly holds a lot of weight. I'm sure, and it works still to this day on so many levels. It's a really beautiful film. The creature design is amazing. The performances are solid. I mean, there definitely are some interesting choices made with some of the characters. Uh, but I think all said, it holds together quite well, better than some of these other Universal monster movies, in my opinion. And I don't know. I don't know that I can really give it anything less than a five. So I'm just gonna do that and give it a five.
Bob big leaguing us over here. Fucking
Gotta do it. I'm not gonna
God.
do that for all these movies we're talking about tonight, but this movie just feels like it holds so much weight, and it really does hold up. It's a beautifully shot film. Yeah, so five. That's gonna put our aggregate at a 4.5 from your boy James Whale, 1931's Frankenstein. Rand Diesel, why don't you take us over to our Rotten Tomatoes segment?
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to run through this now and not do it again because you should know by now. This is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these folks guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is for Frankenstein or whatever movie we happen to be talking about on RottenTomatoes.com. As always, we will start with the user score. I'm sorry, the critic score, the tomatometer, and then move on to the poopometer or the user score. Let's see. There's 95 reviews from critics for this film. The tomatometer is 95 reviews. I'm going to start with Soju today. Soju, you're going to take us off on the critics. What do you think those 95 critics had to say about this movie in terms of net positivity?
It has to be sky high. This is going to be one of those few where it's going to be a
Yeah.
game of inches, 1 or 2 points, because it's just going to be at the top. So you got to shoot for a ringy ding here, or you're probably going to lose it. Fuck. 98%.
1998.
Maybe
All
there's
right, good
one
year.
person out there.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's 95 reviews, so it
I
might,
know.
yeah, it
Yeah.
literally could be one person difference. That's true.
Yeah.
Bob, where are you at with it?
I'll take the under because
Okay.
there's not much over. I won't $1, but I'll $2 with a 96. Maybe we'll tie it.
Whoa, Bob.
96. Okay. Well, let me tell you, one of you guys is just 2 percentage points away from the correct answer.
Oh
Just
boy.
2.
Probably me.
That correct answer. 94%.
Oh.
Bob's walking with this one.
Ooh.
94. That's
94.
surprising.
There's
So there's
five,
two?
but like
At 2, maybe 3. I don't know the math, but
four.
something like
Yeah,
that.
there's
Yeah.
what? Yeah,
What are you gonna do to get 100 in this town?
movie's full of shit, you know?
Really overrated, in this Frankenstein.
I'm gonna do the user score, and then we'll jump into the critics' consensus, and then some negative reviews, real quick. There are 5,000 plus user reviews here. That's a hefty sample size. We're gonna go in reverse order. Bob, out of those 5,000 plus ratings, what percentage would you wager are positive?
Still, I think it's going to be very high.
But how high?
How high? Yeah, that's a large sample size.
4,
It'll drive it down.
5.
I'll take a 90 even, please.
90 flat. Okay. 90 flat from Bob. Soju, where are you going with it?
I'll take the under. I am gonna $1. Actually, I like a tie chance sometime. I'll take an 88.
I like a
year.
tie chance as well. I like to wear a good tie, and I just need
I
the
like a tie
chance.
chance.
So one of you is just 1 percentage point away from correct.
Ooh.
That correct answer, 87%. Soju's walking away with this one. This one, the audiences are a little softer on it. Not quite a
Soft
full
ass
mast.
audience.
Soft ass audience.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
See it every day.
like soft ass shit.
Well, we got 6 chances today, boys. So that's 1 skeet and 1 yeet.
The old
We'll
skeet
see what
and
the
yeet.
net is going to be.
Actually,
Here's
I guess
the
we only
critics'
have 4
consensus.
chances because we're gonna split it up. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're
Oh,
trading
yeah, I guess
off.
that's true. You got to have a bleat in there, hopefully. Critics' consensus
Hail
as
bleat!
follows. Hail bleat! Critics' consensus, still unnerving to this day. Frankenstein adroitly, ooh,
Ooh.
explores the fine line between genius and madness and features Boris Karloff's legendary, frightening performance as the monster.
Yeah,
Nothing's more frightening than the word adroit.
adroit.
Android.
All right, let's read whatever negative
Ganis.
reviews happen to exist. There's at least 2.
Ganis.
And adroit Ganis is what they call me.
The throwback.
Here's one. One of those movie attempts to turn out a weird mystery meller, which never quite clicks with the audience, which doesn't believe in Santa Claus. What the fuck?
What?
English? One of those movie attempts to turn a weird mystery meller. I don't know the word meller. I have no idea what that means. Which never quite clicks with an audience which doesn't believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in Santa Claus, therefore your Frankenstein is of no interest to me, sir.
That just means no imagination.
That means
but
that's
that
a
would be like
joyless
criticizing
individual is what the
I
problem is.
don't. Okay.
That's a
I don't
person
get
who
it.
is incapable of internal fantasy. That's the issue at hand.
Bro.
Insane. One more. Everything in Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's novel that lifted it above the level of a penny dreadful has been omitted. I can at least understand that point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're
Like,
if
if
you're
you really,
criticizing
really
on the
love-
reference from, what the book does, then
The source
yeah,
material.
sure.
Yeah. The
That's
source
fine.
material has a lot going for it, man, and like I kind of agree that it is a better piece of artwork.
That's kind of with the 4. I mean, yeah, like this is a much weaker story than what it's based off of, just in
But
comparison.
it brings a lot
when
more to
there's
the
something-
table. So like,
Yeah.
it's a push and a
Yeah.
pull, you know.
Yeah.
The old in out in out. All right, that's it for
Every
Rotten
day.
Tomatoes. We got a little bit of trivia left,
Lucky
I think.
man.
If you guys want to get
Shit.
into it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
It's totally time for trivia.
Hey guys, you know how this movie has been referenced visually and otherwise in so much shit for forever?
Yes.
Well, guess what? That fucking copyright is about to run out. 19.
Finally.
We're 1
We're
year
about to
away.
make
What is
our
it?
own
2027.
Mm.
I'm sorry, what?
So, but we're about to make our own Frankenstein movie. Straight chilling.
Frankenmang.
Frankenmang.
Here it comes.
Frankenman.
Yeah,
Eaten
January 1st,
yeast.
2027, at least as far as the IMDb trivia section is concerned, is the date that this becomes in the public domain. And even apparently the makeup choice, which is Jack P. Pierce, is the guy who originated this makeup. He gets a lot of accolades for basically inventing a fucking American classic. And that too will be in public domain at the same time, is my understanding. So, it's kind of shocking that it's been so culturally like osmosified, even as it is. You think about something like Mickey Mouse that just went into the public domain. The reason that was not able, but that was a bigger deal, I think, than this will be, is because Disney is a fucking monster about their goddamn copyrights. They go after you, and if you don't protect your copyright in instance A, then when somebody like paints it on their fucking nursery wall,
Preschool.
and if you don't sue for that, then you can't sue for somebody stealing the iconic imagery for something more tangible or more impactful.
gotcha.
So yeah, that's like a weird copyright thing
Mm.
that exists. And obviously, like, there's been a lot of Frankenstein's monsters out there that have pulled from this very heavily, and Universal did not always go after those people, and therefore it became just culturally part of the mix. And I think the
And
world is
that's
better for it.
why
Fucking
Mickey Mouse is
Disney.
not culturally a part of.
Mickey Mouse can eat my shit by comparison, is all I'm saying.
Tell him, Randy. Eat my
I don't
shit.
even
tell
know
him.
who is this Mikey Mouse? What is that? How you
Mikey
pronounce
Mouse.
it?
I don't know, some disease-ridden
Oh!
rodent that exists to make children happy or something.
Sounds about
Mikey
right.
Mouse.
Yeah, Mikey Mouse, the
All
famous.
right.
Yeah. Let's read another thing here. While preparing to film the scene where the monster attacks Elizabeth, Mae Clark admitted to Boris Karloff that she was worried when she saw him in full makeup coming towards her. She might really be frightened. Karloff, which would be terrible for an actor to really feel an emotion in the moment, I guess. Side note,
30s.
yeah. Karloff told her that throughout the scene he would wiggle his pinky finger just out of sight of the camera, so that despite the horrific makeup, she could always see her friend Boris waving at her and letting her know that she was safe. I
Why
think
don't you
that's real
just
sweet.
Be an adult and
Yeah, act.
yeah, say this is
It's
a
makeup. You know it's
man.
makeup. Yeah.
Look, I just think it's real
Hey
sweet.
girl, hey,
Hey,
hey.
I'm always
Wiggling
my
pinky
little
waving at
pinky
girls.
at your pinkies
Whenever
out.
I'm like
That's
Whenever I'm
not
like
his
threateningly
pinky.
approaching a woman, I always wave my pinky finger so she knows it's
gonna
cool.
wave
Yeah,
my
she knows it's cool.
pinky at you, girl.
It's cool, baby. I'm waving.
That'll keep you calm.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. I got that wave going. That one finger wave. Uh, okay, here's something interesting.
They don't call
After
it the little
bringing the
finger
monster
for
to
nothing, eh, boys?
I think they call it that for nothing.
For nothing.
After bringing the monster to life, Dr. Frankenstein uttered the famous line, "Now I know what it's like to be God." The movie was originally released with this line of dialogue, but it was then re-released in the late 1930s, and censors demanded it be removed on the grounds that it was blasphemy. A loud clap of A loud clap of thunder was substituted in the soundtrack. The dialogue was partially restored on the video release, but since no decent recording of the dialogue could be found, it still appears garbled and indistinct. The censored dialogue
that in there.
Yeah, I feel like I heard it clearly.
It's
Yeah.
the phrasing of this is bad. It's going to continue.
Okay.
The censored dialogue was partially returned to the soundtrack in the initial restored version releases. Further restoration has now completely brought back this line of missing
Okay, yeah.
dialogue.
Okay, I was about
A
to
clean
say.
recording of the missing dialogue was reportedly found on a Vitaphone disc, similar to a large phonograph record. Modern audio technology was used to reinsert the dialogue without any detectable change in the audio quality. With the restoration, it is now known that he says, Now I know what it feels like to be God."
Yeah, don't people get that's like what the movie's critiquing?
Yeah, that's what it's about. I mean,
Fucking
how would that
idiot.
be blasphemous?
Do you
It's-
think that
Yeah.
Dust Bowl
that's the
era fucking
problem.
cinema goers gave a shit?
Well,
Those
that's the
people were
problem with making
burning
him.
crosses
He's
and
the
shit.
hero, so he can't
Yeah.
blaspheme
Well, he's
God.
He
He's
can't
a
have the name
white
Victor.
man.
I won't accept it. It's blasphemy, I tell you. Blasphemy.
He's Henry, and he's a God-fearing Christian. Okay.
I refuse
Yeah,
to believe
my
that
boy
Hank would
Henry.
consider himself God.
That's why he does exactly what the Burgermeister demands.
My boy Burgermeister.
Dude,
Sounds delicious.
genuinely made me want a burger so bad when I watched this movie.
Randy. And he's that
I'm a very
red-blooded
suggestible
American.
boy.
Yeah.
I am.
Burger,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
All right.
I'll have
I'll try
one.
one more. Do we have any time for one more? Or are you good?
Yeah, roll it. Go for it.
Okay, let's see. I already covered that. I covered that. Okay, this one's kind of fucked. According to historian Gregory W. Menck, director James Whale was
Menck?
jealous of the attention Boris Karloff's monster was getting during production and took revenge by making the actor carry Colin Clive up the mountain to the mill in take after take dozens of times. Clive felt badly for his co-star and suggested that a dummy be used, and Whale refused. Karloff continued to have to carry Clive's 6 foot, 155-pound body in succeeding takes.
And those high
James Whale
heels.
was a bit of a bitch, a little
He
bit of
was
little
what?
bitty
Yeah, what?
bitch.
He was getting jealous of the attention.
I don't yeah, I was unclear
Yeah,
about
he's
that
not
too. The
on
movie was not out
screen,
Yeah,
yet.
he's
so
not. Yeah, what? Who's giving the attention from who?
I guess it's like the people behind the scenes. I guess, maybe, but like also good for your
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah,
you're
right.
making the
You're
movie.
making
Yeah.
a movie.
Don't like what
I
I'm
don't want
making.
my lead actor getting this much attention.
God dang.
What are you fucking talking about, James?
Like me. Cool.
Weird shit.
Randy, I'm gonna need you to carry Bob up this hill a couple times.
Yeah,
I just
man.
don't
I'm
like
gonna
how
need you to
much
kiss my ass.
attention you're getting. I'm the star of this show, you see.
Carry Bob.
People are gonna see this movie and say, "Whale."
That's so weird. Okay. And then
Thanks for
those
the trivia.
platform shoes too. God damn.
Yeah.
Misery.
The fuck?
Total misery. Had to be.
Just
We
made him more
are
buff.
gonna
Ha! Got his ass.
even more attention. We're gonna stick a pin in the cooter for this, and we're gonna do one cooter segment for all three movies at the end of the show. So
Deal.
that's gonna do it for Frankenmang, and we're gonna roll right into the second feature, The Invisible Mang. Juice, this is your baby. This is yours.
Yeah, we got all the mangs today, so we'll hop right into back of the box. So first off, a scientist finds a way of
Oh.
becoming in. Oh,
Whoa,
go ahead.
whoa, whoa,
No, you can
whoa.
do the bump. Okay,
No, I
go
don't. I
ahead.
don't know if we're doing the bumps
I'm
or
good.
not.
Do the
So
bump.
we
We
didn't.
want to do the bump.
We'll do the bump.
What's on the back of the box?
I was waiting for that so that I could now go to the bathroom surreptitiously. I'll
Okay,
see you.
gotcha. I'll read this. So, back of the box says a scientist finds a way of becoming invisible, but in doing so, he becomes murderously insane. Murderously insane. Yes, this is Invisible Mang. Let's see, what year did this come out? 1933, so just 2 years after Frank and Mang. We got all the Mangs coming out. Again, directed by James Whale. This is starring Claude Rains, Gloria Stewart, William Harrigan, writers H.G. Wells. Yeah, let's go around and say, have we seen this before and would we recommend people check this out? Robert, kick us off.
Yo, I had seen this movie once before, actually last year, for our friends over at A Cut Above. They were reviewing a bunch of Universal Monster movies and invited Mikey and myself on to talk about The Invisible Man. So that was my first time watching it just last year. So pretty fresh to me
Mikey
still.
Mouse.
My
Oh,
boy
boy, Mikey
Mikey
Mouse?
Myers Mouse.
Wow,
was
you
on
brought him
that
out of
show.
retirement, huh?
Mikey. And it's a light recommend from me. I think this one is sort of lower on my my ranking for the Universal Monsters. It's still got some pretty great stuff that we'll get into, but I don't know that it's like mandatory viewing necessarily. So maybe a light recommend from you, boy Bob, on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy, what about you?
Yeah, first time viewing for me. I've actually like there's a good number of like the classic monster movies that I had not seen, and this one was actually top of my list of one I've been intending to see for a long time. I had gotten good at some point. I had gotten the feeling that it was going to be one that I really liked, and I was pretty excited about this one above the others. And I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in this one. Based on my expectations. And yeah, I think I would recommend it certainly on the homework level. I think that like if you're gonna be doing the diligence of looking at past horror movies, this is still a big one. I think it's not nearly to the level of Frankenstein. Very few things are. But I think that it is heavily in the conversation. I think that that is part of the scaffolding that is the Universal Monsters that then everything else is kind of built out on for a long time. So, yeah, I'd recommend it on that range. But yeah, it's I'll get into my critiques of it here in a minute, but it's not quite to the level I hoped it would be. I will say that the one thing that really, really did fulfill what I wanted, and I knew it would, was because I'd seen images, is the look of like the bandaged face and all that stuff. It's really
yeah.
cool looking. It's an excellent
Yeah.
costume for like Halloween and shit. It's that's iconic. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. A light recommend certainly. Soju, how about you?
Yeah, this is the second time I watched this. This is one of the ones that I watched a couple years ago when I was doing my run. And at that time, I was really impressed by this film, actually. I was one of my favorite watches I remember that I did this year. So going into it this year, I was really looking forward to watching it again because that stuck out in my mind. And I will say maybe on the second watch, it was a little lower than I had like remembered it, but still a lot of fun. I think this is a really cool one. I think it's got some cool elements to it. Maybe not as essential as Frankenstein, but I would still recommend people check this out. I think it's a cool watch. So I'm gonna be defender on this one, I guess.
Do it.
So yeah, check this
Oh,
one out.
oh.
Yeah.
Sounds like a loose recommend, I guess,
Yeah,
from the
medium
crew
to
as a
loose
whole.
there.
Yeah.
I'm loose.
Yeah, medium to loose. But check out The Invisible Mang, and I think this story is lesser known, so maybe we will actually be spoiling this one for you. And here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Jess! You got that plot synopsis?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I got whoa. Randy has one
Randy.
soju bottle down after one movie, so
You gotta
that's an
refill.
average of a bottle a movie. We got two to go. Whoa.
No time for breathing.
All right, here's that plot synopsis. In a snowy English village, a mysterious stranger wrapped in bandages and wearing dark glasses rents a room at an inn. His name is Dr. Jack Griffin, though no one knows it yet. Griffin is a chemist who has discovered a formula that renders him invisible, but he hasn't figured out how to reverse it yet. Desperate to finish his experiments in secret, he isolates himself, becoming increasingly irritable and violent. The innkeepers grow suspicious, and after a confrontation, Griffin reveals his power by stripping off his clothes and vanishing before their eyes. Now a fugitive, he unleashes a reign of terror, boasting of plans for domination. His fiancée, Flora, and her father plead for his sanity, but the drug that caused his invisibility is also driving him mad. Griffin kills a police inspector. He ends up derailing a train full of passengers. He spreads panic across the countryside. The police organize a manhunt, but catching someone who cannot be seen proves nearly impossible. His former colleague, Kemp, betrays him, alerting the authorities, and Griffin vows revenge. True to his word, he murders Kemp by sending his car off of a cliff. The police finally corner Griffin in a barn during a snowstorm. His footprints in the snow give him away, and they set fire to the barn. Badly burned, he becomes visible again as he dies in the hospital. In his final moments, Griffin expresses love for Flora and that admits the futility of his experiment. His death ends his terrifying rampage, leaving only the tragic memory of a brilliant man consumed by his own creation. Another science is bad story, boys. All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why do y'all hate this film so much?
It's because I hate you personally, I think.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I
Yeah.
figured.
I,
You know,
I do
love
think
that.
it's all three of these movies we're talking about tonight. They're all about like very privileged, wealthy, educated white dudes who just like want more shit. And then, of course, what could go wrong with that, basically?
Wolfman's a
Uh,
little different.
it's
Yeah.
I guess
It's
it is a little bit different, yeah, than these
yeah,
first two.
but it's in a similar zone, but it's
Very,
not the
yeah,
same. Like
definitely
it's not
similar.
it's not about unbridled ambition the same
Yeah,
way
yeah, it's
these
not.
are.
It's definitely not.
So it's definitely similar, but different to Faker, Frankenstein in some aspects. In this case, the scientist is the straight up villain.
Yeah, he is a
Yeah.
bastard man in this movie. There's
Oh,
no
because the Invisible Man's a
mistaking.
bastard man.
He is a bastard man. Holy shit. He is just fucking shit up and like laughing in people's faces about it, throwing bicycles at people.
Here we go
like-
gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May.
I love the line he has actually. Just talk about some good stuff. I love the line where he rolls over to Kemp and he's like, "You're helping me, motherfucker." And he sits down and he's like, "First we shall begin with a reign of terror." Just like this, we're just gonna fuck shit up, dude. Like
That's the you See, that's the thing. Like, here's the thing: is like I don't hate this movie by any means. It is just, I guess I just wanted something a little different than what I got. But I will say, like, the way that I received that line was way different than you did, because I was hoping for like philosophical thought or whatever. Like I wanted to, like, I thought that there was going to be more like
Yeah.
thinking, and it was like Snidely Whiplash to the nth degree, like just complete mustache twirling villainy shit. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
this guy literally just said, I think I'll do a Reign of Terror real quick. It's fucking
You want to do a Reign of Terror with me?
Well, I
Reign of
like
Terror,
it
Reign of Terror.
because they're trying to say, they have these people who are feeding this information because we don't see him before the experiment. We're introduced to him as the Invisible Man only. And so the only
Yeah.
perspective that we have is these people saying like, oh no, he's a brilliant guy, and he, trying to sell like this love aspect and stuff like that. And so the performance, I think, really sells the I'm going insane aspect.
Yeah.
He becomes more and more desperate, and as he grows more desperate, he becomes more insane as well. So it's this combination of desperation, and the situation is not allowing him to progress the way he needs to in order to reverse this. Plus, at the same time, in his frustration and desperation, he does just start to embrace the power aspect of it. Like, well, I got this, and I'm pushed to the brink, and I'm also going mad, and I'm fed up with everything, so fuck it. And he does just like go buck wild. And I think the performance for me sells it. He really like does the I'm going insane voice, kooky, going over the top
Yeah.
well
His
for me, and I
laugh
kind of
does it
like
for
that.
me.
Yeah.
When he first gets to the inn and they kind of find out about him and he's in the middle of undressing, he's like shirt cocking it basically and just starts like laughing hysterically at the people because they're like dumbfounded that he's invisible, of course. Like moments like that are super fucking silly, and the movie does kind of come out swinging with it. Where I think like our modern day audiences, we would much prefer this like this ramp up, this progression to that,
Yeah.
but they come out the gate with it, and I think it is a little bit jarring. So you're like, is this just how he is? Because you haven't met him before.
That's the
But like,
thing.
he is fucking crazy. They say the drugs are like making him fucking lose his mind. Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing is like I have to be told that, and like I do,
Yeah.
I wish that there was even one scene of him beforehand or like right after where he's like completely like logical and reasonable and isn't flying off the handle, because it seems like he's doing that a lot, and it's not always humorous. Like I guess I was looking for somebody who was like the pathos of like, well, I'm kind of fucked with this invisibility stuff, so I don't want to just fucking like take over the country. Like that's it's such a weird leap, and I feel like I would have really liked a ramp up of any kind, and there just
He
isn't
does,
any.
in his desperation, he does turn on that capitalist mindset where he's like, fuck it, I'll just sell this shit to the highest bidder and be on my merry way. But first, a reign of terror.
Gotta get the Reign
Yeah.
of Terror in there.
Look,
Gotta get it in
gotta
there.
get the
Yeah.
order of operations right.
Oh yeah.
Well, like, and also the idea. I was also like kind of baffled by the idea that like, and I know that this is the ravings of a madman or whatever, but like, I was like, he's a scientist, and I thought that maybe he would be like prideful about his logic about doing X, Y, and Z subterfuge. If he's gonna be evil, if he's like dedicating himself to that, and his big plan is like, well, I'm extra strong now, I guess I can do all kinds of strongman things. Like it just like very dumb shit. Like I wanted there to be a little bit more of like a thinking man's villain here, and it kind of turns out not to be. I understand that he's going mad, but he's a guy that like I would think like a very brilliant scientist who fashions himself as like, I had discovered like an undeniable world changing thing, is going to be so high on his bullshit that he's going to like everything is going to be centered around how, oh, the smart way to do that is this, the smart thing to do is this, and like it's not. He's just like, I think I'm going to fucking drive a bus off a fucking cliff. Like, what
Well,
the fuck?
yeah, I mean, he does kind of maximize his destruction. in that like when the train too, like when he's like loose in the countryside and stuff too, but they do introduce like a decent weakness for him in that it's fucking cold, it's the winter time, which also kind of adds to his, I think, mindset, because it's like, why would you just reveal yourself and then go, you have to go walk around naked outside, you know? So but
Yeah.
I do like when he runs the train off the cliff. And it kind of adds to the idea that he could be anywhere. He could be out in the countryside, but it's part of his kind of like hubris of like going back to get Kim or whatever. But they don't get him then either. And so yeah, I don't know. I kind of just like the back and forth and the idea too of he could be anywhere. He could be in this meeting room right now. Like you could be anywhere in the country and think, "Hmm, shit, I don't know if I can have a conversation right now unless I like try to walk around this room with a stick and try to, you know." But I do like the idea of them being like, "We'll give money for anyone who's got an idea how to catch him," and then people are like coming up with all these like wacky, crazy ideas of like how to get this
Actually,
guy.
the bright spot of this movie to me, outside of like a few of the manic episodes and like the look of the guy, is are the extra, not the extras, but the extraneous characters. The fucking barkeep woman, who is the same woman that shows up in Bride of Frankenstein,
Yeah.
like somehow. Um, she's fucking hilarious. I just like listening to her complain in her Cockney accent. It's great. It's
I thought she
one of
was
my favorite
annoying
things.
as hell
I
on
find
Oh,
her
I
very
loved her.
annoying as well. And
Oh,
in
I
screaming
loved her. I
she's
thought
the
she was
worst
constantly.
fun.
part of Bride of Frankenstein for me, honestly.
Oh my god, I love it. It's like,
Not a fan.
give me a character with some character, but not like, but the lead needs to have some pathos too. That's
Mm.
the problem. Is like, if there was like with Bride of Frankenstein, there's at least some pathos going on, so it counterbalances better than this one. I just kind of like that woman's performance, I think.
Mm.
There's a lot of really amazing imagery in this. We already mentioned like the look of him with the bandages and the glasses. It looks amazing. The scene with him smoking, the whole idea that when he eats, like he has to wait an hour for his food to digest or else they can see the food in his stomach. I love all that stuff. The barn scene where he's walking in the snow is fucking amazing. When he first arrives at the end and opens the door and the snow's blowing in behind him, like amazing shot right there. I love all of that stuff quite a bit. But I guess it doesn't have again like that big like giant set piece like Frankenstein does. So I assume that's maybe why we haven't like pop culture isn't like lousy with Invisible Man shit. Like there's been a bunch of remakes and like riffs on it and shit, but not quite as much as Frankenstein, I guess. And also like he's
I
invisible,
don't think
so
people.
it's kind of hard to riff on that in
Right.
some
Like
ways.
the only visual you have, the iconic visual, is him not being
Yeah,
invisible. And like, so it's a
right.
little bit counterintuitive in that way.
Yeah, I think the effects generally hold up really well though. Like again, thinking like 1933, if I'm
For
going
the
to see
time,
this
yeah.
for the first time
It's
on the big
silly
screen and
now.
the dude is
It's shit that you and I
invisible.
can do. I mean,
Yeah, but
if I move around enough, my hands are going to
considering
disappear. So,
considering though, I think it holds
Yeah,
up pretty
seeing this in the
well.
theater a
yeah,
hundred years
yeah,
ago,
you're
you'd be like,
right.
how the fuck did they make this guy
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
invisible? Like it's
that
still
is just
very
truly
interesting to
in
me.
camera technology.
Yeah.
It is impressive for its era.
Hell yeah.
It just hits
I mean, the
different.
shirt dancing around and stuff. Yeah, when he's
But also
or
like
like
the
when he
way he
takes when
performs
she
it, he's just
comes
like like he does
when
like a
she comes in and it's got the top I think wrapped up but not the bottom because he's eating
Yeah.
or whatever.
mhm,
That's a really cool reveal, I think.
mhm.
Yeah, if I saw this for the first time in the fucking 30s when like movies just came out, I'd be like, yeah, I'd lose my shit. Like,
It'll
what
blow your
the
mind, yeah.
Pissed and I shit my pants.
Hell
right?
yeah, dog. Hell yeah. This is another one I was thinking on my second viewing of this now this year of James Whale being the director and of The Invisible Man and like kind of watching this through a sort of queer lens. And one of the characters was it the I think it's Jack's father says like you know how queer where it's a queer thing that he would like completely abandon his fiance and go off to make these crazy experiments all on his own. And like I don't know, it just like added another layer of depth for me, whether it was intended or not by James Whale. Like the idea of an invisible man, like a gay man in the 30s, like your true self has to be invisible on some level because that just wasn't accepted, obviously.
Yeah,
So like I
I
don't
mean,
know,
I wasn't
it
looking through that
enriched
lens,
it a
but yeah.
little bit. on my second viewing for this show anyway, and made me like it a little bit more. Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did y'all consider that at all?
I didn't, which is shameful because like in
I'm
college
ashamed
I
of
took
you.
and failed out of a course that was
Carry me.
explicitly the monsters
Yeah.
course. I've mentioned this before. Um, there
You
was
failed out of
it was
it?
a literature course that was about monsters. What is it? Monsters, robots, and cyborgs. And it was taught by a gay dude who like very much was bringing that lens to things.
Mm.
And like so there was a lot of like talk about like like queer shit or whatever. And they brought a lot of that like to
Shit.
Dracula's daughters, to Dracula, but I don't know that they brought up the Invisible Man. So I guess I also just didn't know that much about James Whale.
Yeah, I
So
didn't. I
I just
honestly I didn't know that about
I
him.
don't know. Like that is interesting, and I kind of wish I had watched it knowing that or having remembered that. And I'm a little bit sad that I
Yeah,
that
watch it again.
I failed
Well,
out of
this
that
will
course
live
because
on
it was like
forever.
my eight. It was like my
Mr.
fifth class
Shane.
of the day at like 10 p.m. or some
Oh
shit. It was
damn.
insane.
Oh, Randy.
Oh boy.
There's a couple things. I think the biggest thing that like I don't like about this is like a weird decision the cops make. Like they come up with this like whole giant elaborate plan to save Kemp's life. But at the end of it, they just let him get in the car and drive off all by himself. And it's like, well, why send one cop with him, you know? And then the Invisible Man, of course, does murder him successfully. It's kind of a silly
Well, it
thing
was
to.
under his insistence, though. I think it was kind of out of his fear because he was like, no, he's gonna know that I'm like gonna be in there or whatever. So it's partially his fault as well.
Yeah,
Victim blaming.
I didn't love that, but maybe it's a little nitpicky.
I do love I actually kind of love the kind of commentary because it does seem to be criticizing authority a bit in that way, the incompetence of it. Because even at the beginning, I do kind of like how they go through this process of where they won't believe a whole town, where literally
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's telling them this is what happened to us, this is what we saw, and they're like, preposterous, this is impossible, and you're all just delusional, and you're
I
all,
do.
and that this again, like the psychiatrist comes on or whatever, and he's like, oh, they're all just under this mass, delusion or whatever. And then
I,
it's not until I know, but still, but still, but it's not until a police officer gets murdered that then they'll take it
yeah,
seriously, I guess is the
yeah,
thing. And then
totally.
the incompetence of all of them where they're like, we're gonna put the snow or whatever they do, and the cat kind of totally like throws them all up. Like they have like
Yeah,
four or
yeah.
five chances to get this guy like as a sure thing, and they just bungle it up, which
I do like that. Yeah,
even today we say oh my god, with the incompetence, and it seems silly, and yet we have these fucking true crime things coming out based on, what was the one
the
where
incompetence of.
they handed the guy literally back to his killer, and after he had escaped and he was drugged, and he was like, oh, it was Dahmer, oh, that's my
Dahmer, yeah.
boyfriend or what. He was
Damn, I
like
don't know that one.
14, he was like 14, and he ended up, yeah,
Jesus Christ.
he was 14, he was being drugged, he actually escaped the apartment, but Dahmer was like, "Oh, this is my gay boyfriend," and the cops got so uncomfortable that they literally gave the kid back to Dahmer. Yeah, and he was murdered. So
Yeah.
we say
Jesus
this, but I
Christ.
mean, so I think that's an aspect of this that I actually kind of like.
That's fair, and that is consistent with the cops. Actually, now that you bring it up, because like
They are
the like
headstrong
the
idiots. Yeah.
bobbies in this are like they just stroll into the scene like, "What's all this then?" They're like so stereotypical and just like have no fucking idea what's going on. And the cops like, "Oh, if he takes off the rest of his clothes, we won't catch him for 1,000 years." They're just fucking like useless, really. So that's a fair point, I suppose.
That
Yeah.
is, I guess I wasn't thinking of it on that level. It just everything seemed very like. I think the problem for me, like from a storytelling perspective, is that everything seems like on the same level of seriousness throughout, or like there's not like a ramp up for the main arc for the main character. So like the incompetence being like rife or whatever that might be there, but because it's like everything's operating on this same heightened level the entire time, it feels just very flat. And I'm not sure what I wasn't sure I didn't even clock that because it's just like this is just the world we're in. I didn't even think about it. Like I don't know. So it's not that it's necessarily has nothing to say or anything like that, but it's not really like communicating that to me very well. I would say.
Well, I want to also too another thing because we talked about the idea of the science of it and the fear of science. In this case, it's again, it's almost like a spy aspect too, of like you don't know who's watching, you don't know who's listening. This like not being able to trust the environment that you're in. So it's not even like a in Frankenstein, it's like the idea of like electricity and changing the world and playing God. And in this case, it's almost like just man wielding power to hurt the common man in a way, you know? So it's like a
Mhm.
same kind of aspect, but it's through a different lens, I feel like. A fear, a different fear lens.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
seem as pointedly critical of science as Frankenstein was, if we're going to look at it that way. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like, oh, he's a scientist that went too far. Or I mean, he is, but he's not somebody who's like, it's not his ambition that drove him insane. It was literally him
Plan.
experimenting on things, and he just kind of fucked up. Like, he just kind of fucked up, and now he
That's kind
is
of
I
fucked
just
kind of
up.
fucked
fucked
up.
up.
Fucked
I
up
just
a
fucked
little
up a
bit.
little bit.
Just a little
I
reign
don't
of
know.
terror, you know?
It,
Yeah, and
it
well, I mean, that's a byproduct of him just doing science, and it's
fucking
like,
up.
is science just bad in general? Because the thing with Victor or with Henry Frankenstein or whatever is that it was him like, I want to be God. There's none of that to
Yeah.
start with. There's no like Prometheus moment that we see for what's the Invisible Man's real name? Whatever his name is. Like where he's just
Jack.
like, I want to be
Griffin.
invisible so I can rain terror on people. He just
Yeah.
gets there
That's not
because the
why he
chemicals
wanted
fuck
to
him
be
up.
invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I do
Right.
appreciate that when he gets to the end, he's like, bring me a sandwich and then just leave me the fuck alone. But they won't do it and it drives him fucking nuts. That's like what it felt
That's
like the
relatable.
first time I watched it. I was like, that's what set him off. But like, he's really just been crazy the whole fucking time. That
Next
shit is
time, just
hilarious.
bring
That
me the
woman,
fucking sandwich.
that woman with her mustard fucking ruined the world, basically. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
forgot your mustard, sir.
I
Man,
love that woman's
he's
You
sandwich.
also,
must.
he's like obsessed with strangling people. Like he doesn't bother killing people in almost any way, I guess, other than like driving
Well,
the
that's the
train
way
out.
you'd have to sneak up on somebody, though, right? If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
picked up
If you
something,
carry a
they'd
weapon,
see
yeah.
you coming, so you got to
I guess
strangle
so.
them.
Just me
But if you can
mitts.
Or you
sneak
got
up
to hide
behind
it in your
somebody with
butt, you know,
something,
that's the
like,
only way.
The God pocket. You
apparently
can't bring
not,
God
because
into it though.
man, is that how it works? I don't know. Because like if he swallows something, you can see it going down his gullet.
But it's only because he's got to digest it. So eventually it does disappear. So at some point, the
Yeah, they
things
don't
So
see the
inside
if you shove
poop,
you.
something undigested up your pooper, you're gonna see
Well,
it
it's not,
sticking
yeah.
out of your pooper,
but they
right?
don't see the man's got poop in him, but you don't see it.
You don't see it.
You just
The
see the
poop is
food.
part of the man. I think we
Yeah,
all can
because it
agree to
becomes part of the
that.
man.
The poop
So
makes the man.
if you
The
leave the
poop
plug in
makes
long
the
enough, it
man.
goes invisible. You just got to leave it in there long
It
enough.
becomes one with the man.
Oh my
You
god.
gotta plug it
The
up.
rules are getting less
Gotta.
clear by the second.
It is like,
By
yeah,
the
if you,
second.
I guess, I don't know. Yeah, the food gets, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. It seems like because the poop was food, you would see the poop too. But like, you don't see his blood or his veins or his muscles or anything that is
Mhm.
of him.
Right, like
But
when it becomes chemicals in his body, I can understand that being, but like
yeah,
the waste, which is what poop is, should still be visible. So you just see like
yeah.
poop going through the air
You
is what you should
should.
see. Like
This
like
would
if
be a
I'm taking this
five-star
to a
movie if
logical
they'd do that.
if they did that, the
Five
Invisible
stars.
Man, yeah, the Invisible Man, except for the poop, that's not a movie
Just
that sells.
you just call it the visible shit. That's
The the very visible shit, the
that's
walking
the
visible
trauma
shits.
version of the Invisible Man
That
is the
is,
visible shit.
I think, yeah, the very visible Mang shits. Yes. Um.
Extraordinarily visible shit.
mhm.
Um, I don't. Yeah. Anyways, do you guys
Yeah,
have
that
anything
was a nice
else
tangent.
you want
I
to
have
touch
nothing else for
on?
this movie.
Yeah.
I like the. I don't know. Like ultimately, the big thing for me is just that it wasn't. It wasn't as philosophical as I kind of I assumed that it would be. So it's partially on me. But
Yeah, it feels way more popcorny, I think, which
right.
kind of works in some ways and in others doesn't.
I
But
can't really hold it against it, but I also do.
yeah, Juice, did you have any other points you want to hit before we rate this thing?
No, I can put it in my wrap up. I think the only thing I'm really gonna like focus on too is just the overall performance, I think. But yeah, I can just bring it up.
All right, let's do it. Out of five, let's go ahead and rate The Invisible Man. Juice, why don't you kick us off? How do you feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I find this one very entertaining. It's not, yeah, it's not as like thought provoking as Frankenstein, I guess. But even with Frankenstein, I don't know. Maybe it's because I know the source material so much that even though it's trying to be more like thought provoking, it doesn't hit as hard. Because I know the original story. So, but I think the performance is really great. Who plays the lead in here? Sorry, I was just trying to pull
Claude
it up
Rains,
on.
right?
Yeah, Claude Rains, and and I think he does a really good job. And I really love the effects of this. And I love that they kind of like sell it in special moments, like when she comes in bringing the mustard. And I love how he is insane, but I love how he kind of ramps up and he just gets where he's fucking fed up with it. And he just goes zany insane, which I think that's important to sell that he is fucking insane, which makes some of the illogical things sell a little bit better. Like, why the fuck would he do that? It's like he's fucking crazy. Um, and I do like too, the ending is really cool too. I like the idea where they're like, well, when he dies, the body's not going to be processing the chemical anymore, so it's going to come back to life, and like him kind of fading in. I think it's they do the little bit of thing where they kind of just hand wave it away of like in the end he's regretful, and so there's some sympathy for him and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think the fear really comes through too when Kemp is introduced. Before he's like really just fucking with people. And even when he kills the cop, it's like not that impactful. But I like the idea of Kemp being afraid for his life because he literally just opens the door to, he's just living his life. This dude shows up, he's invisible, and just kind of forces his will upon him. And he's trying to make him do illegal, terrible things, kill people, hurt people, and stuff like that. And so he's just trying his best to escape this impossibly ridiculous, scary situation. And everybody's like, yeah, I don't know. He could be like in this room. I don't, and I think that that's a pretty cool aspect of it. I think that the effects hold up really well. I think the performance is really good. I like it a lot. It's, yeah, probably not as good as Frankenstein, but it's entertaining for me. So I think I'll give it a 3.5. And thinking now, I kind of wish I bumped everything up a point 0.5. Bob, go back. Frankenstein's a 4.5. Invisible Man is
Frankenstein
a
your review
4.
together here.
Wait, what is is it a four? Is that what you want?
No, I'll give it a 3.5 because I don't think it's quite as good as Frankenstein, but now I wish I kind of gave Frankenstein a little higher so I could make this a 4. But it's fine. 3.5.
It's
I'll
fine.
tell you, Harry. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Randy, Invisible Man. How do you feel?
Yeah. So I think I've been like, I've kind of like spilled my guts about how I reacted to this movie already. I don't have a lot more to add. I really think that it's a little bit of like over overestimation of what I was going to get, or like a misestimation of what I was going to get, that kept me pretty sour on this watching it. Um, I do see a lot of the value in the points you've made, Justin. Like I don't think that this is a bad movie necessarily, and it's certainly like for the time, it's still very like interesting that there's a movie like this from that era, and like it fits in its time period, and rather I think it would stand out in its time period, is I guess what I was trying to get at. But as a modern viewer, expecting like a little bit of like a little bit more meat on the bone, a little bit more like philosophy in the background, it fell a little flat for me, man. It just it didn't hit the things that, like, some of the crazy zaniness was fun. The extras, the especially the barkeep woman, I really liked that performance. I thought it was scene stealing, and in a way that made me laugh. Um, but overall, I kind of just felt like it hit kind of dull for me. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to give it a 3. It's still a positive experience, but it's not one that I'm going to probably return to anytime soon. It's you know, it's required viewing, but it's not required repeat viewing, in my opinion.
Right on. So I,
Bob,
hey,
out of
how's it
5.
going? Out
Hey,
of five,
hater.
hater, hoder. Yeah, like I said, this is not one of my favorite Universal monster movies, but I think I am grading all of these on a sort of curve here. Just again, trying to place myself in the day this came out and like watching these effects on screen. Just really, I mean, they're inventing a lot of shit, a ton of shit here. I mean, this was based on a book which I have not read, so I don't know how similar it is. But I mean, I think this movie just like on imagery, um, technique, and performance alone, like is totally worth watching and like it brings a lot of like respect to the movie for me anyways. It's a little goofy, it's maybe a little thin on the plot, but I think Claude Rains does a really great job, and there's a level of goofiness that I think would benefit to be aware of before putting it on, because like you come in from a Dracula or Frankenstein, the two better known movies from this era. And those are like deathly serious, and you probably would expect a similar tone for this movie. It's just not the case at all. He's like a stark, mad lunatic laughing as he runs naked through the streets. So I don't know. Like I can respect this
We've all
movie.
been there, eh, boys?
We have.
We've all
I
hog
see
jobbed
it.
our way into infamy before.
I
Oh
see
yeah,
it.
we've all
I see it
taken a
every day.
little something extra and got
I'm invisible.
Randy might end up
Oh,
that
it's
way
okay.
tonight if he keeps going with those sodas.
Oh, Rand
I
Diesel.
just
Don't
have the one
forget the
soju. I mean, like it's
mustard.
gone. It's tapped.
Yeah, I think I respect this movie more than I outright enjoy it. Ultimately, it's kind of like my main thought, I guess. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Decent movie,
Yeah.
grading on a curve. But yeah, 4 from your boy Bob. That's gonna make our aggregate a 3.5 for The Invisible Man from 1933. Juice, why don't you take us over to the Rotten Tomatoes segment?
Oh shit.
All right, we're gonna play this game again. Randy already explains how it works. I'm eating right now.
Perfect.
It's morning time. All right, so heading over to the critics score first. There are only, surprisingly, 58 reviews for this. So, Randy, I'll let you go second since I know this isn't usually a game that you play. I'll let you gauge where Rob's going to go
I don't
first.
play that game. Okay?
Yeah, you don't play often. So Bob, from those 58 reviews, what do you think the overall critic score is?
Yeah, it's a low number. I think it'll be high, but definitely not Frankenstein high. So I'll take an 86, I think.
The boys.
The boys. I'll take the boys.
All right, they're here to play, baby.
Always.
Nah.
Don't
Don't try and play me.
Randy, Bob took the boys, so you can't have them. Where are you gonna go?
I guess I'll take the girls.
How many?
Twist my arm.
I think I'm gonna go for a hopeful tie. I like that method, so I'll go for the 84.
84, taking the under. You boys don't respect this film. Well, you don't respect it, but the critics do. This is certified fresh with a 95%. Bob is
shit.
gonna take this one.
Damn.
That's a 9% difference. I'm gonna do Randy's math thing here. So yeah,
My math thing. I
His
invented
math
that.
thing.
you made math.
It's higher than higher than Frankenstein. That's
Yeah,
insane.
that's why I was kind of, when I was looking at mine, I was like really surprised. Yeah, I was really
Yeah,
surprised.
that is truly, truly surprising.
Yep, heading over to the old popcorn meter. This one has 10,000 plus ratings, so still seems kind of low, but I mean, a much larger sample size. We'll go in reverse, playing the reverse card here. Rand Diesel, kick us off. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm let's keep it simple. I'm gonna go 80.
80. Okay. Bob?
Yeah.
Solid guess. Give me The Boys again. Project 86.
Bob's
Oh.
doubling down on the boys.
Damn.
There it
Yeah,
is.
they
They're
are.
here to
That's how
play,
you
baby.
drop it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is lower. It's lower on the popcorn meter. I can't remember what Frankenstein's popcorn meter was, to be honest, but this one is lower than the tomatometer. We are sitting at an 85%. Bob's going to take it again. Just 1 point off. Rand
God.
Diesel. How are you going to give him so
Damn.
many hell skeets? God damn, you're ruining my
Oh.
day.
Look, I
Yeah.
want to go for a perfect losing record.
I
for
think
the
that's what
entire
you did
year. I
last
think
year, too. I think you did.
Probably.
Oops, all ski.
I'm not good at the game. There's a reason I run the game.
We have a lot more practice. Whoa, Bob. So the critic consensus is so Bob's sitting at 3 skeets now. So I gotta up my
Every
game next
damn
round.
day.
That's usually where I top out for the day.
James Whale's classic The Invisible Man features still sharp special effects, loads of tension, a goofy sense of humor, and a memorable debut from Claude Rains. Let's see, are there any negatives that I can see right off the bat and do Randy's little thing too? God, I feel like every time I go on this, they reorganize it so it looks different. I'm just gonna read this first one and cross my fingers. Hope it's hilarious. Mr. Wells' original idea had the element of humor as well as stark terror in it. In the film, the humor misses all its glorious opportunities and the terror is robbed. Now, that's one thing, too. None of us are familiar. We're all a lot more familiar with the Frankenstein source material, but none of it, apparently, this is saying that the source material on this one is a lot more humorous. So
Interesting.
and I believe, I don't know if it's included. I wrote all my trivia down at least like a week ago, so I can't remember if I included it or not. But I will say one thing that I did read was that the writer for this looked at how Frankenstein was adapted and was like, well, I kind of want to do a more faithful iteration to the source material. Like, I feel like they
Yeah.
went too far off on Frankenstein. So I think this is closer. So I guess
That
maybe
doesn't
they were
surprise me.
really
I don't
trying to stick the
I
humor
don't know
element
anything
here.
about the original, but I can say like this feels like a more typical adaptation where it's mainly suffering from a lack of like the internal monologue or whatever. I think if
it
they
could be.
had like Jack's internal monologue of like his reasoning for why he's behaving exactly how he is, or like his mindset as he's saying things, it would go a long way, probably. Which is what I assume is in the book. I have no idea, but I'm assuming that.
Yeah, I was gonna see. So this next one, this is the only other rotten one I can see. I can scroll more after this, but it says good for some shivers, hardly as effective on the screen as in print. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I think that's
Seems
our
like the
bad.
book
We
is
don't
worth
really
reading.
know. Yeah, it does. It does. But everything else I can see is positive, positive, positive. Yeah, that's it. It's all positive. So those are our only rotten critiques there.
Right on.
There
You
you go.
got any more trivia?
I got some trivia, baby.
Let's do it.
It's totally time for trivia.
Okay, so in order to achieve the effect that Claude Rains wasn't there when his character took off the bandages, James Whale had Rains dressed completely in black velvet and filmed him in front of a black velvet background. Still don't really know how
Okay.
that works, especially with the back, like when you can see through him. I don't really know.
It's keying. It's the same method as like green screen or
Yeah.
blue screen.
But how'd they
Really.
do that without I don't get it. I mean, it's cool, but
I don't know how it's done in analog. I don't know that. But
yeah. Because you can like see
it's clearly
through.
the
I
same
mean, you can
principle.
see the outline. It's not perfect.
Right. because
but
velvet has reflections and stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
so it's not a
so
perfect situation, but I don't know if they invented that technique for this film. I would not be that shocked if that were true, but it had
could
to have
be.
been very, very early in its existence.
Yeah. There is a total body count of 123. 4 murders are depicted directly on screen. 18 search party members are off screen. The derailment of the train results in 100 deaths and the death of Dr. Griffin himself. So, in total, Dr. Griffin kills 122 people before he is killed, making him one of the most bloodthirsty villains of the old Universal Picture horror film.
Yeah, easily. That's more than most modern slashers.
I
Jesus
know,
Christ. But
yeah.
it's just like in terms of sheer numbers, that is fucking impressive.
Yeah. Reign of Terror achieved. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
I am
Frankenstein's
terrorized.
monster, he only killed one little girl. I mean, Invisible Man,
What a
he's
little
got
bitch.
122 on his belt there.
What a poser.
Think
Said
you're
you
a
got to pump
monster,
those
bro?
numbers
Come
up. Those
on.
are rookie numbers,
Those are
Mhm.
rookie numbers.
let-
Very disappointed in you.
The basic framework of the story and the characters' names are largely the same as in H.G. Wells' novel, but there are several great differences, including the novel takes place in 1897. The film takes place in 1933. Whoa. In the novel, the invisibility process includes a chemical compound that takes the color out of organic material, along with the use of vibrations. Whoa, buzz. Similar to
Hey.
X-rays. In the film, drugs alone do the trick. In the novel, Griffin remains almost a completely mysterious person with no fiance or friends. In the film, he is engaged to a woman and has the support of her father and his associate. In the novel, Griffin was always an egomaniac with no empathy for his fellow man. In the film, the invisibility drug causes him to go mad. Okay, there you go. In the novel, Kemp lives. In the film, Griffin kills him. In the novels, humorous sidekick Thomas Marvel is left out of the film. Oh, okay. So I guess there's a more humorous sidekick in the novel. His name is Thomas. I just have one more thing. The reporter who offers suggestions to the Dwight Fryer is at around 57 minutes. The reporter who offers suggestions to the police officer. He is best known for playing Renfield. Oh, it's the same guy. Okay,
Shit.
so the
I was
guy
gonna
who
say that is
played
the name
Renfield,
of
Fritz, and Carl. He plays Carl in Bride of Frankenstein. He plays Fritz in Frankenstein. He plays Renfield in Dracula. And in this film, he is the reporter who offers suggestions to the police chief. Oh, I guess when they're asking, like, how do we catch him or
Nice.
whatever.
Dude, he's
Oh,
just like
yeah.
yeah.
getting his bag every fucking
There you
movie.
go,
Give me my bag.
baby.
I would like my bag, please.
That's it. That's all the trivia I have. That's the
Sweet.
Invisible Mang. Time to head over to the old Wolf Mang. We got all the
The
Mangs
Wolf
today,
Mang.
boys.
In the audience.
We're
Let's
doing
see
the
if there's a
Wolf
back of the
Mang.
box.
Let's
Here we
do
go.
it.
What's on the back of the box?
Now, Bob, do you possess this box?
So, Bob, tell
I've
us a
got the
little bit about the
box!
box that you've been watching this on. So, how many movies are in that box?
So this is 8 movies. It's
One
got
payment's worth.
Creature, Bride, Mummy, Phantom, Invisible Mang, Wolf Mang, Frankenmang, Dracumang.
Okay.
And
Dracumang.
yes, 8 Blu-rays. Bam, there you go, all in one
Nice.
box.
Nice.
Yeah. You can buy these movies a million times over. They're everywhere. They're on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD. You can stream them all.
About to be public domain.
They're everywhere.
Whoa.
The Wolf Mang from 1941, runtime of an hour and 10 minutes. Directed by George Wagner. Written by Kurt Slodmack. These names are fucking killer. Siodmak, probably. Anyway, Claude Rains stars in this one.
Mac.
My boy Slodmack. Warren William.
Sounds
Ralph
like
Bellamy.
some dirty mac and cheese or something.
You want some of this fancy slawed Mac. I made you.
Half slaw, half Mac. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. Upon his return to his father's estate, aristocrat Larry Talbot meets a beautiful woman, attends a mystical carnival, and uncovers a horrifying curse. Sounds like a good weekend to me.
We've all been there, boys.
Oh,
Boys, have we seen The Wolfman before? Would we recommend folks at home check it out? Ray and Diesel, kick us off.
another first time watch for me. This is one of the big ones that I had never gotten around to. I'm frankly like just not that hot on like werewolves in general, like out of the
More of a
original
vamp boy,
monsters
eh, Randy?
canon.
I know where you're landed.
What?
So
I
more of
missed
a
it.
vamp boy, huh?
Just a vamp
I'm a vamp
boy.
boy, you know. No,
No.
it's just the one that interested me the least because I don't know. It just doesn't for whatever reason. I don't know if I can identify the reason, but it's just never really been of interest to me. Would I recommend? Again, it's homework on some level. Like I think it's ground level for at least werewolf movies, and certainly for like informative of the origination of film horror. I was pleasantly surprised by this movie because I think it's the inverse of what happened in Invisible Man. Like, I think ultimately I'm getting similar quality movies, but my expectation was lower for this one just because I'm not that interested in the topic material. So, my experience was, yeah, I would recommend this. I had a good time with it. I think that it has some very silly, like old fashioned things happening in it, but also some really fun things that are like chintzy in the right way. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would recommend.
Juice, what about you?
I'm gonna be flipped on this one. This
Whoa.
one was well, it was a first time watch for me, so this is not one that I watched a couple years ago. Never seen this before. And yeah, we talk a lot about how difficult werewolves are to do. So I was kind of curious about how the original was done. I was very familiar with where is he? You know, the iconic look of this one, or just the general look of him. Um, so yeah, I was curious how they were going to do it old school style. I was not as hot on this one. I was happy. I will say that originally when I was doing my triple feature, I had picked The Mummy, and I had, because I had never seen that one either, and I felt like that one kind of doesn't get talked about as much. And I started to watch it, and it looked very hot and dusty, and I was like, that is not good for spooky season. So I pivoted to Wolfman, and I am happy that I did that, honestly, because it does bring the vibes. I think it's an okay watch for spooky season. Brings the fog and everything, so it's got the vibes, but the general story and things I was a little disappointed on. So this is not a strong recommend for me. I just kind of shrug, it's loose, very, very loose recommend, I guess, just as a classic. But yeah, not essential watching. Bob, how about you? Would you recommend people check out The Wolfman?
Yeah, I would actually. This was maybe my second watch of this, second, maybe third. And this, I actually really like this movie. This is sort of towards the top of my list for the Universal monster movies. It's obviously very foundational for werewolf flicks, and I think there's some really solid performances. There's some hokey stuff in this, like there is in really all of these movies, to be
Some
fair.
hokey pokey.
But there's some pretty cool like early transformation-y stuff going on. There's some early werewolf lore and definitely got some heavy spooky woods vibes that I like. And yeah, I think this story feels like it has a little bit more to it than some of the other Universal monster movies. So I dig it. Yeah, I'd recommend checking it out for sure. Uh, that sounds like
There's gonna be a party when the wolf comes home.
Yeah.
hell yeah. Mostly recommend two out of three.
Yeah.
Mostly
Yeah.
recommend. So we're gonna be spoiling the shit out of the Wolfman, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Bob, back on plot synopsis duty.
Back where I belong.
Get back where you belong, Bob, on
All
plot
right.
Back in
synopsis.
the box, Bob.
What's in the box?
Get to
It's
the
Bob.
back of the
It's
box.
it's a Bob in the box. All right. Here's a plot synopsis. Your boy Larry Talbot returns home to Lonwelly, Wales to bury his brother and reconcile with his father. He falls in love with a girl named Gwen who runs an antique shop. He ends up buying a cane from her with a silver wolf head on top. She mentions it represents a werewolf, which is a man who turns into a wolf at certain times of the year and always sees a pentagram on the hand of his next victim. Gwen refuses Larry's advances several times, but eventually does agree to go out with him and have their palms read. She does invite her friend Jenny to come along with her. The palm reader sees the pentagram on Jenny's hand and tells her she must run away now. Meanwhile, Gwen tells Larry she's already engaged. Um, as at this time, they hear Jenny get attacked by a wolf. Larry kills it with his cane, but is bitten in the chest by the wolf. The police investigate and find Jenny's throat torn out, and the palm reader, now having been beaten to death by Larry's cane, also dead. The cops think Larry killed the palm reader, especially because there's no evidence of a wolf like he claims, and the wound on his chest is miraculously healed overnight. Additionally, the townsfolk suspect there's a bit of adultery between Gwen and Larry since they were alone together. However, Gwen's fiance Frank, stand-up dude, he believes they're innocent. The palm reader's mother, Maleva, tells Larry her son was indeed a wolf, and he is now too because he got bit by him. She tells him only silver can kill a wolf and gives him a charm to wear to prevent the transformation from happening. Larry, unsure about what she said, ends up giving the charm to Gwen to protect her from him if it's true. The next night, he transforms and kills a villager. The authorities set traps believing a wild wolf is on the loose. Larry transforms again the following evening, and he's caught in one of the traps, but Maleva uses a spell to temporarily turn him back so he can escape. Larry, now convinced he is a wolf, tells Gwen he's leaving town and he sees a pentagram on her hand. He also tells his dad that he's leaving town, and his dad thinks he's fucking delusional and ties him to a chair so he can't leave, also hoping to prove to him that he is not a werewolf. The moon rises, Larry transforms yet again and attacks Gwen. Larry's father, not realizing the wolf is his son, bashes him over the head with a cane that his son gave him previously. Maleva arrives yet again and uses a spell to turn Larry back human. Larry's dad looks on in horror as he's confronted with the corpse of his son that he just murdered. Roll them credits. Wolfman.
Well,
Yeah. That's
this
the
is probably
Invisible
the
Mang
best. This is
playing the
probably the
dad.
best. Yeah, this is probably the best ending.
Yeah, it
I think
feels like it really comes full circle. I don't know if this has the underlying sort of meaning that maybe Frankenstein does, but I think it has a little more going on under the hood than maybe the Invisible Man does. Somewhere in the middle there,
I
perhaps.
think it I don't know about like it doesn't have like the deep philosophy of Frankenstein certainly, and I didn't feel that in Invisible Man either. But what this does have is like a pretty clear arc and story for our lead, like and a relatable one. We have a relatable lead in this, which is not something we've seen in the other two films. Somebody that like you can understand at least they're going through some shit. Like you can say understand where they're starting and where they're ending are different places. So I feel like the Invisible Man is just kind of in the same place the entire movie. I feel like Frankenstein, we start kind of at the fever pitch of insanity for the doctor, and the creature is just kind of like at that level of like barely functioning, low intelligence, sort of like bumbling, some sim, not quite villainy, and that's kind of its own thing. For this one, it feels like a story, you know what I mean? Like a full arc
Yeah.
of some
It
kind. Whether or
more
not it's
meat on the
perfect is a different
bones.
question.
It feels more whole. You've got like again this like really rich white dude coming home and like reconciling with his father, but then you've also got like the Romani camp coming to town and they've got this carnival happening and like
Hmm.
all the people that live in this town like they all know about werewolves. Like it's a they've got this folklore. They even have this little rhyme that they all repeat throughout the whole movie and like everybody's kind of aware, but since Larry's been gone for like over a decade, they have to like explain it to him and like get him caught up, which benefits the audience, of course. And I don't know, it feels like a more of a full world and a full story. Like yeah,
Right.
just I think it's maybe for like a modern audience, maybe a little bit easier to digest than
It's
the
more
other two movies.
digestible, yeah. I
Yeah.
think.
I think one of my
I don't know.
biggest problems with this movie is I don't like Larry.
Yeah,
He's a
he's a
big
bit
I
of a
agree
dum
with you.
dum.
Honestly, I don't like him very much either. But I at least understand it. Like
Yeah.
I think he's meant. I think he's like I understand what the story wants me to think about him, so it's easy for me to track the progress of the
yeah.
story and understand where we are and what the story's trying to tell me about what's happening. Whether or not I think he's like the way he like courts this woman, if you want to call it that,
To put it
is
lightly,
extraordinarily
yeah.
fucked up by
Yeah.
today's
Yeah,
standards.
it's insane. Yeah, you're
Um,
going on a date with me, basically. He's like,
he
you're
And
going
meets
he
on.
her by
starts it,
way
yeah.
of peeping on
Spy,
her.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
And he doesn't even really
dude.
try to hide it. He's like, "Oh, I like those earrings
Aren't you-
you're wearing, or whatever, and the net, whatever." And it's
the
like, she's like, "How
games,
the fuck
yeah,
did you
that's
know
some
about
like
that, you
fucking.
Yeah,
weirdo?"
it's pretty
Oh,
fucking creepy. Yeah,
it's
It's
super
eerie.
creepy. But also too, he's just so fucking stupid because all of I think there's a lot of hole. I mean, yes, there is a complete story. There's a lot of holes in it too. One, the original werewolf is the fortune teller man. And I don't understand why he's
Bella.
working on a night when he knows he's going to transform into a werewolf. And he's traveling with all of these people who I assume know that he's a werewolf. He's living with them. He's traveling with them. He's just showed up in this place and he's like shocked. Oh my God. He sees the pentagram on her palm and he doesn't do anything to prevent it. And then later, the same person who he's traveling with, who he lives with, gives the thing to Larry so that he doesn't transform. Why wasn't the other guy wearing that thing? And then also, too, why doesn't Larry just be like, "Hey, can I have my fucking necklace back so I don't transform into a fucking werewolf?" It's
That
so
necklace
stupid.
needed to not exist
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
yeah.
that's the
story.
It
thing. They have
doesn't do
too many
anything. Yeah,
too
It's a
many
MacGuffin
elements
that
like
doesn't need
that
to exist.
that are just really stupid.
Look, I agree with you on those points, but I will say that is not exclusive to this movie. If we're gonna be like, we're comparing these movies all night long. Frankenstein had an entire village gear up to fucking go hunt a creature they didn't know existed at all and never saw. Like they
They knew
never
somebody
fucking
killed the
encountered.
little girl. They didn't know they were chasing a
Somebody killed the little
monster.
girl. They didn't know it was a fucking corpse man. Like they didn't know that anything about this. They just like this girl is dead. She drowned. I don't know anything else. Let's go hunting for dead creature
I
people.
think they were just going hunting for the murderer. I don't
But they
think
don't know
even
that it's
at the
even a
end when they
murderer.
burned it down. Oh, yeah, I guess.
They just found a girl that
yeah.
drowned. That's
Yeah.
what happened, and that led to pitchforks and torches. That doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Well,
Nah, it kind of does a little bit.
but this, I
Okay.
mean, really, I think there's just like too many holes. I mean, I do like the aspect of the dad not being able to expect it or accept it, especially since the brother has died. And
Yeah,
because there have been different iterations with that, which I like the more element of the brother
I wish the brother tied
died.
into the story
Me
more.
too. Yeah, that's kind of where
Yeah.
I was getting at. I kind of wish that was the kind of
Well,
tragedy of it is that
they
he was
say
only brought back. Huh?
they say it was a hunting accident. So like he could have been in the woods
Yeah.
and got
Could have been.
attacked by a
That's
werewolf,
what
and
Yeah.
he
I
just didn't know.
assumed. I thought that they were going to bring
Yeah.
that back. Like that seems like setting the stage for some revelation, and that
Mhm.
revelation doesn't come. And I do think that was a missed opportunity.
Well, and it's another one of those things where it kind of bothers me now because it's a little bit in the same way of Dracula, but in this case, it's kind of like punching down a little bit, where it does feel like it has that element of the foreigners brought this on us. It's their fault. They, they come into our town and they bring this disease and it wreaks havoc. And this poor, like you said, this poor privileged
Yeah,
man who's, it's
gets
just
his
like
life
it's his
ruined.
fault. Yeah, because which again, why? Why would he be working and telling fortunes on the full moon night and not know
It's a
he's going to
fair question.
transform
Because
into
it
a
definitely
werewolf?
seems like his mom was fully aware. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, if she had a necklace, he'd be wearing it. Yeah, it is a little strange. Yeah, and it does kind of have that context of like the other bringing this terrible thing to your town and ruining your
It
life.
does, but I don't know that I fully agree that it feels worse than I feel like it's way underplayed for what I would expect from the era. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually don't think that anybody outwardly says anything about like, well, you can't trust those people or anything quite like that.
And
They just like, and people are engaging with them fine, like, oh, the Romani or whatever they call them are in town.
I mean,
Whatever was
they call
proper
them
back
gypsies
then.
in the movie. Yeah.
They call them gypsies, and it's not a proper thing anymore. But
I also think
that's they're like, oh,
there's
we'll
a
go like get our fortune read. It'll be fun. Like they don't take it super seriously, but it feels like the carnival's in town, and like you don't have like immediate negative associations with people just working at a
yeah,
carnival
yeah.
necessarily. And
And
if
the
you
whole
Carnies,
do,
we
you don't
call
like
'em.
just say it. Like you
that's
don't. We're not
preferred
like those fucking
nomenclature.
carnies. God damn, let's go. But like fuck them. Like there's none of that.
The whole town is like intimately aware of werewolves. Like I said, they've got that poem they recite over and over again. So
That's the confusing part to
I
me.
don't know if like maybe the Romani folk are like there regularly, but it seems like they're already dealing with werewolf. Like the werewolf thing
Right.
is always a presence in this town, not just when the Romani folk are there. So maybe his brother was a werewolf and like somebody killed him when he was in the woods. I don't know, man. Maybe there's just some stuff that
You know.
didn't make it to the screen necessarily.
Mhm.
I see how you could interpret it that way, but I don't necessarily get that like ugly kind of down with the
I don't
Romani
get the racist
people.
vibe.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't. Yeah,
but but you know what? I like if I may reverse engineer this fucking American classic film for a second. I think
you
that like if you
can't.
had Claude Rains' dad, like him be like somewhat like racist towards the Romani's, like, yeah, last time
Mm.
they came into town, your brother went missing, and they were involved with the hunting accident in some way. Then you
Hmm.
could
Yeah.
surmise that they're regular visitors, that maybe the werewolf
If
stuff
he
is in
warned
some
his
way
son
related to
against, like,
them.
if he forbid him to go, but the
Hmm.
women wanted to go and he wanted to go on a
Sure.
date with
Yeah.
them,
Oh
that would have
yeah.
been
Yeah.
good.
Then it's the
Totally.
woman's fault, and
It
Yeah. I
always
mean, it makes
is.
it a more racist story, but if you counteract
yeah.
that by like in some way, I don't know, like
No,
I just
yeah,
feel like that.
it's a
Yeah,
good call.
I do think that there's like I think it's very like tempered in terms of like how it's talking about like it's not dealing with race relations. It's not making a statement about those things in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
It's really just yeah, some foreign folks are in town. They read fortunes. Let's go check it out. Like it's not a big
There's
deal.
there's
Yeah.
a level of like science v religion or like mysticism or what, because like he apparently like when he comes to town he like puts together this giant telescope for his dad, and he's clearly like a very brilliant person, but like when he's face to face with something that is not necessarily following whatever logic that he's aware of, whatever like modern day logic he's aware of, he has no idea how to handle it, even when the Romani woman gives him a necklace and is like, "Here, you fucking idiot, wear this. It's gonna help you." And he still can't use it.
He
Like he just
won't,
doesn't
yeah.
he doesn't believe these things, and he's like questioning the wrong
Mm-hmm.
people when he should
Sure.
actually be believing
Well, he
them and
doesn't
stuff.
immediately believe it. He eventually does,
He
and
does
that's where I feel
eventually,
like
yeah.
the
But still
relatability
doesn't
is
get the
like,
necklace back. And that's why I was just like,
Yeah, and
no,
that's a
the
fair
necklace just does
criticism.
not
Yeah,
need to exist.
yeah, it shouldn't be in here. It shouldn't be in here, especially when she can just show up and like do whatever prayer or spell
Did
she does and
did it
like
ever
turn him
protect
off.
anyone in this movie at all?
I
I
don't
mean,
think so.
I don't think
I mean,
so.
Gwen doesn't die, but I don't know
yeah,
if she's
so
even
But she
wearing
also
the
isn't attacked
necklace.
directly. Like,
but also too,
is
if he
she?
doesn't
Oh, no, she
believe it,
is.
Yeah,
why
She is
even
she
give
is,
technically.
she
it
That's
is.
to
right.
her? You know, that's the whole
But it
thing. He's
doesn't like
like, oh,
Yeah,
I
stop
don't
her. They don't
believe it.
make a point
Yeah.
of showing
yeah.
like rebuking him in some way. It just
No, no, his dad shows up and beats the hell out of him with that cane, which
yeah,
that cane
which
is
is
kind of fly, dude, honestly.
it's a dope cane. It's a pimp cane. But like it's I feel like that is a tragic moment, and I do think that that makes it a really powerful, a more powerful ending
Oh
than
yeah.
Invisible Man. It ends
It
with a father who is like desperate for his son to stick around, convinces his
yeah.
son to stick around against his wishes, and then accidentally beats him to death, just like his brother who died, ending his lineage. Like it's a tragic end
Yeah. I mean, the movie
for a
starts with this
character.
guy losing a son and ends with him murdering his only remaining son. Yeah.
Basically, yeah,
Yeah.
because he is unwilling to listen to what his son has to say. Like, there's something you could make out of that. Like, I do think that there is something interesting to that. It's just not like fully realized exactly, I don't think.
Hmm.
I think maybe for the era, it's about as realized as it gets for the most part, at least in American cinema. Like this is 41, so I
There's
think the Hays Code was in effect by this point.
Yeah, I don't know the
Um,
dates on that. There's an element of like him returning to his like small town home or whatever, and that killing him, and his brother never leaving, and it ultimately killing him too. Even though they're like clearly very wealthy, maybe even the richest family in the town, and like they want for nothing, but something about that town just like I don't know, kills the family in one way or another.
well, and
Like
that's
I
what,
said,
yeah.
the werewolfism, like I don't know if we're supposed to interpret that as like the lycanthropy is like the human's like most base instinct, you know, the like animalistic instinct that we can't quite escape. It's always there, no matter how much book learning we do. And like them returning home like
Maybe
awakens that in them or something. I don't know. There's
Maybe.
like levels there that are not
there's an
fully
animalism, yeah.
developed. Yeah.
I agree. Like there's a lot that could be like done with it, and like a lot more than I would have given it credit for. Even having watched it, like I have to kind of like think about it more to get there.
Yeah.
So there is some failings or a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of like weird alleyways, but it still felt like it ended on a true ending. It started an arc, it
Mhm.
finished the arc, it landed the plane to some degree, and I just really like the way that it ends in a very tragic note of this father, like who's already lost a son and whose big crime was being so overtly committed to being the reasonable one that he's not listening to his kids at the expense of their lives. I think that's really interesting and something worth making a movie about. So I don't know, not perfect, but like I think the thing about it is like to me, like I said, like I just came at this. I watched this third. I watched it in sequence, like we talked about it. So for
Yeah,
me,
me
it was
too.
like I came off of the heels of the Invisible Man with kind of like a down feeling about it, and I was like, okay, and now I'm going to the one I wasn't excited about. I was starting from pretty much not rock bottom, but lower than I would have liked to when I started this movie, and it just it had a lot more going for it than I would have guessed.
Yeah. And we haven't even really talked about like the imagery of the werewolf and the transformation and all that. Like
True.
the look of his face is very iconic. And I like when they have the transformation in this, which is like always a very pivotal key scene in any werewolf movie you see is like can they pull the transformation off or is it going to look really hokey? And they focus on his feet, which I think is probably a smart thing to do, especially back in 1941 when they're very limited resources. But I think it works overall. It's almost like a time lapse kind of thing, where they're really just fading from one image into the other and they're showing like the hair growth on his feet and like
Mm-hmm.
the actual shape of his feet change. I think that's a pretty smart way to go about it. And then he like walks into the woods and then you finally see like the full figure who I'm pretty sure is wearing clothes that like he was never ever wearing before. Like he got gussied up to go out in the woods. He put on like his hunting shirt or whatever,
Mm.
you know.
Look, you got to get prepped.
That's the
You don't
thing
want to get
about
cold,
this
yeah.
one is like of the, these old style films, Dracula is very an iconic, Frankenstein is very iconic. I think that the Invisible Man design holds up really well. It's really creepy. Werewolf is always hard. That's why there's not a lot of them. You got the transformation, you got the look of them. I think this as an adult, even I think Creature from the Black Lagoon still like looks really good. Even
It's probably the
as
weakest look
yeah, as a young
out
kid,
of the
it was
bunch.
like the goofiest looking to me. And it's one
Mhm.
that is not as iconic because everyone's trying to do their own style of werewolf. Like nobody's really replicating this the way they would Frankenstein or Invisible Man, right? Like those are the ones that have a solid foundation that people just kind of reuse.
Well, because they have
Wolfman
something
is
else to
not
draw
that
from. They
it.
have a wolf. Like
Yeah,
they can look at a wolf and say like that's what a wolf looks like. And when it
sure.
comes to Frankenstein, either you go for like it's a true corpse or you go for an iconic image.
Yeah.
And even with mummies and stuff, it's kind of the same thing.
I just think Wolfman overall of like the iconic type of monsters is the weakest, and it's because of what it's got to pull from and the time it was made. I do think that they probably did about as good as they could do, but it doesn't really necessarily, like, I can look at Frankenstein and say, wow, 100 years later that still looks good, or that's, a very interesting design. Today, I don't necessarily think that about the Wolfman. I can be forgiving and say for the time it was probably good, or about
Yeah,
as good as they
that's
could
that's
do,
kind of
but
where I'm
I
at
don't
too.
think, yeah, I don't really think it's
Well,
that great.
two things about it for me, just two quick things. One is, yeah, I tend to agree. Like the general look of it, it's just it's hard to pull off. It's harder to pull off when you are in an earlier era where like makeup effects had not come quite as far. I think because there are two things that you know what they look like. You're not like guessing. You've encountered at least a dog, so you have some idea like what people and dogs look like. How do you meld those together?
Yeah.
It's harder to make that believable, I think, in a way that doesn't seem silly. And I was I think that like for me the transformation it worked fine, but I in my mind I know that I've seen a classic era monster movie that showed the face growing the hair and all that stuff. And that I was waiting for that scene the whole movie. I was like, wow, they're really holding it back until like the last transformation or something. It must have been like one of the sequels, one of the like, later ones. And like because the feet changing was like it, ultimately it was less than what I expected. I was expecting a more impressive effect because I have seen it. It's just not from this movie, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm a little warmer on the design than you guys are. In comparison to like Frankenstein and Dracula, yeah, it doesn't quite hold up to that level, but I think it is iconic in its own right. And even the like it's like very silly that he would then put on clothes that he's never worn before throughout the entire movie. But even like that shirt and like his pants is like kind of part of the costume.
Sure.
So it's got this like vibe to it. In addition to that, like I love the spooky lighting in the woods and the low-lying fog. The bits of lore, there's a lot of like pretty like standard classic werewolf lore in this. Like, he can only be killed by silver. He transforms on the full moon. If you get bit by a werewolf, you become a werewolf. Like a lot of that's pretty consistent. But the one thing that I don't remember seeing in another werewolf movie, and I could be wrong, is like the whole pentagram on the palm thing. Like that seems, as
Yeah,
far as I can recall, like pretty original to this film.
Yeah.
that was not something I was familiar with either.
I
Also,
didn't know
like
that either.
the tattoo, the star-shaped tattoo or whatever,
Yeah.
which they said any animal can make that mark. I was like, no, no,
Not correct.
no.
Yeah.
Which I thought like kind of worked against the whole idea. I like the idea that he got hurt, he got bit, people saw that he was hurt. The very next day, it was healed. He found that very
Mhm.
strange. Everybody else just kind of waved it off. I like that aspect of like nobody trusted or believed him, and he was like trying to do his best to protect everyone, to protect himself, to get out, and the situation around it, everyone else around it, particularly his dad, nobody could accept it, and that's ultimately they all kind of pay the price because of it, including him. So I like that aspect of it. Another thing is we got screaming and creaming tonight. How to get a little cream today for our
Oh,
3 hour ride.
screaming,
So
creaming,
little ice cream
gotta get
there.
that dreaming.
But
Ooh.
I will say, since I've been the most critical on it, to go off what Bob was saying, I think this one has the vibes. I really do like when they go out into the woods. Every time they go out to the woods, the fog is great. Again, it's bringing some of those things that we had in Frankenstein, where you have these silhouettes that work really well with the black and white. In this case, it's particularly like the trees and with the low-lying fog and stuff. It just works really well. And even just the camp is like a pretty cool
Yeah.
aspect of it too. So I do think, again, when I watched this, I was really happy that I didn't ultimately end up doing the Mummy, because this one felt definitely more appropriate for this autumn season, for a spooky night, type of vibe. So I get why it's kind of a classic in that way. But one more aspect of it not making a whole lot of sense. The gypsy who was a werewolf before was just a wolf. So why is
Yeah,
this
he looked
guy
different.
a
Yeah.
wolf man?
I mean, they
I don't
kind of
know.
he was just a wolf, but like we only I think really see him for like a second where he's like, and it's kind of obscured. I think it's meant to
Well, you
be.
when he's biting Larry,
He's
you
biting
get a
Larry, yeah.
decent
Is he?
look
Yeah, I
at
guess
Like,
that's
oh,
him.
he's just a
Yeah,
wolf. And even Larry, he didn't say it was a wolf man.
yeah, it's
He
a
was like,
wolf. Yeah,
there was a wolf attacking the woman, and
yeah,
I beat
I
it to
just
death.
assumed it was the dark, the fog of night sort of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah. That is true. That is a little interesting. Maybe you take different forms depending on the person. I don't know. It's
I don't know.
possible. They
I think
don't
this is just
explain it.
inconsistent. Probably is more
That
likely.
that character, the palm reader, the character's name in the movie is Bella, and it was played by Bella
Bella.
Lugosi, actually.
Mm.
Yeah,
Little sneaky Bella
yeah.
Lugosi. Yeah,
All
It's
right.
a
but yeah,
nice way
it's
to
just a
sneak him
wolf.
in there.
Just a wolf. He's a wolf man, but not a wolf man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's like
saying?
yeah. I don't know. Like it's not like this is as much as Frankenstein is like the prototype for just like Frankenstein and Dracula are a prototype for like just horror movies, even though they both feature monsters. This feels like the prototype for a monster movie specifically. And monster movies almost like to me almost always are a little bit lacking in the logic department or they're overbearing in the logic department. It's kind of one or the other.
Yeah, I mean the wolf man that we kicked the ear off talking about the new one
Yeah.
from Lee Winnell. Yeah, did Lee Winnell do that? Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like pretty simplistic, but like really does beat you over the head with its theme, but at the end of the day is an extremely underwhelming
Yeah.
monster movie. And like this,
Like
Movie sucks butt.
yeah, it really does. Yeah. I mean this has like a lot of things I think it's toying with. Maybe the messaging isn't totally solidified in a way that maybe a modern audience would prefer, but I think overall it's just a way more successful and satisfying monster movie for sure.
it
Yeah.
feels complete and it doesn't end on a thud, which does leave a
Yeah.
lasting impression for me.
The ending is great. I mean, the ending really kind of solidifies like, oh, you should have listened to your son. He was doing his best to get out of
Mhm.
here. You brought him back. Whoa.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
In the first place. And so I did that did feel like a very satisfying kind of ending where even like Frankenstein, as big as an iconic as it is, has that weird random fucking ending. And then Invisible Mang tries to like force him to
Yeah.
have like a little bit of sympathy there at the end. So
Yeah.
I think this is the best ending.
Yeah.
And
The dad.
I just kind of wish it feels weird because it feels like the whole situation that they set up with Larry, it's almost all of it is almost designed not to like him because even the aspect of the woman being engaged, it's like
Yeah.
it's a guy who works for that family, so he can't even really be mad about it, so he's understanding, but it's because he's in a lower position. So it just
Yeah.
everything is designed to where I was just like, I kind of fucking
I think that's
hate
a modern
Larry.
sensibilities thing. I
Yeah.
agree with you, but I think it's very much a modern sensibilities thing where it's
I
like
think so too. Yeah.
courting multiple people was not as uncommon back in the day.
Whoa.
Being like
Oh,
betrothed to
geez.
Back in the
somebody.
day.
If only we could go back to the 40s.
look, date like like going steady was when it got serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I think he's portrayed as like a man's man, and like, yeah, I think
yeah.
you are actually supposed to be like, yeah, he's, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
Supposed to
yeah,
be
he's
charming,
going-
but
real
he's charming
man.
by a
Getting what he
standard that is not
wants.
acceptable by
Yeah,
today's standards.
yeah,
I think is the issue.
he takes what he
Um,
wants. It's bad. Yeah,
It's bad.
it's bad.
ugh.
Yeah, I really
We need to
wish.
reclaim our masculinity, guys.
Oh boy, oh boy, I got plenty of that. Don't you worry.
You got to take it back, Juice. You got to take it back.
That's not gone anywhere, Bob. Don't you worry about that.
There's a girl on my bed. Yes.
But I was reflecting. I mean, there are some key, good werewolf movies. I think American Werewolf in London is probably my favorite, and I think the most
Yeah.
accomplished of those. Of course, Ginger Snaps
yeah.
is really good. And
Love
then
it.
even
Yeah.
honestly,
That might be
with
my
all the
favorite.
kind of bullshit we've gotten, I've gotten a lot softer on that one that's got what Anthony Hopkins in it or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that one's got like, I mean, that one tries to do it right, I think. And I
Yeah.
think that one's pretty solid.
Not so bad. Yeah, the one from like
Yeah,
the early
it's like
2000s
2010
Wolfman.
maybe or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
maybe
that. Yeah.
2010. Not
Genuinely
bad.
not
Yeah.
sure I've seen that.
But it really, I mean, there's just not a lot of choice, and it's too bad. But I mean, I get why it's so different. We were talking just last week about how Trick or Treat is legit one of the best
Yeah.
werewolf stories iterations we have, especially
And
for modern
design.
cinema. Yeah, so
Check out a couple like more modern movies over the past few years that came out. Werewolves Within and The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
yeah,
Both pretty solid werewolf movies.
yeah. But
Worth
even though
checking
Wolf of
out.
Snow Hollow, it has to kind of be clever about it a little bit about
That is
how.
very true. Yeah.
So yeah, but
You've got The Howling.
the Howling Deuce we
Yeah.
covered.
Silver Bullet is a fun
We
one.
also covered that one. Yeah, I don't
We
know about
did,
that one,
yeah. There's
but
one
Look
that's
at
set in New
Jesus
York
Palomino.
it's from the 80s that I'm blanking on the name of. That's really good. I'll see if I can find it.
one thing too, I mean, I don't think that they're able to explore in this one. That's always the interesting aspect, or can be an interesting aspect of the werewolf, is the kind of push and pull, of we only get one transformation from him, right? It's not like
Yeah.
he's living through this. He's not even sure if it's going to happen. And he's just kind of worried about it happening, and then it happens, and then he's dead. So we don't get that kind of almost Jekyll and Hyde, I guess, kind of aspect, which they already
Mm.
had, to be fair, a Jekyll and Hyde going on in this
Yeah.
universe.
It's a
So
similar kind of vibe though.
yeah,
It like
yeah,
thematically,
yeah.
anyways. Yeah. Wolfen was the movie I was thinking of from 1981. Solid if you haven't seen that.
Hmm.
Good shit. Yeah.
All right.
Any other points we want to touch on before we rate this thing?
That's probably good enough.
I think
All
we did it.
right.
We done
All
did the
right.
thing.
Let's do it out of 5. I forgot who went first last, so I'm just gonna say Randy. Go for it. How do you feel?
Great. Yeah, like I said, I did enjoy myself more with this movie, and that's going to influence where it lands. There's definitely flaws with this thing, and it's like I said, this feels more like a monster movie in the sense of like a beastly monster movie than the other ones in the Universal Monsters canon, and that's just usually not my bag. Werewolves generally are usually not my bag.
More of a
Um,
Vant
and
boy, we
so
know.
and for it to have gotten me as happy with it as it did is an accomplishment in and of itself. Its reputation being what it is, it's originating so much in there, and being sort of a complete story with like a pretty interesting end. It has a lot going for it, but it's not a perfect movie by any means in my mind, and it I think that I think that it's really my enjoyment of it that pushes it over Invisible Man in my ranking tonight. So I'm gonna say 3.5.
Whoa.
That this one definitely does have some flex room. Maybe another viewing. Like the last two, Frankenstein is kind of like an entire other world. I kind of had a pre-existing feeling about it that wasn't gonna change. Probably there wasn't a whole lot of new information for me to take into account. But with these two movies, Invisible Man and Wolfman, first time viewings, both of them have room to go up or down. I think that for now it's a 3.5 for Wolfman. Yeah.
3.5 from you boy Rand Diesel. Juice, how do you feel?
Yeah, I like this one the least of the three, but it still had some decent stuff going for it. Again, the vibes were cool. Some of the settings were cool. Even like this kind of town, and I kind of wish we got to spend a little bit more time with the dynamics of like the town. We get some like gossiping people, and we get to kind of see what kind of power this family has a little bit. Kind of wish we had a little bit more of it. And we get, a ton of werewolf lore that's interesting, and a full story arc, even if like I'm not crazy about the characters that we're following, but yeah, I just didn't really like Larry that much. I didn't find him a particularly interesting character to follow or feel bad for. And the dynamic with the woman and her being engaged was strange. I don't think it really added anything. Like, I don't really know what that adds.
It's
So
a
it was
contention with
weird.
the game master who works for you and also is hunting you. It's a
Yeah,
weird,
but
weird
it didn't really
blend.
do any like the push and pull with the dad makes sense. Like that
Yeah.
absolutely makes
Well,
sense and it's important. Oh,
I think you could see like so you meet Larry, he comes into town like hot and heavy beelines for this woman, and I think you could say like, well, he is allowing himself to regress to his more base animal instincts, like doesn't actually matter what this woman is telling him to his face over and over again. He is gonna have her because it's what he
but
wants.
she acts on it too.
Kind of. I mean, she does eventually go
She's
out, but like
charmed.
she brings a
Yeah.
friend and like they, I don't know, she actually does go back to her fiance and they, I don't know. I think that's probably what the movie's trying to do, like show you this side of him and then have it reflect when he transforms into the werewolf.
Bob, are you saying that he's a beastly bulging man? Is that what you're
He's a
saying about Larry?
beastly.
My thoughts could be interpreted that way.
I believe
Yes.
that's what you're saying.
He's got an
Don't
Um,
even
we all?
bulge.
yeah, this is gonna be my lowest ranked one for the night. I'm gonna do a little flip around with Randy, and I'm gonna give this one a 3.
Okay.
Three. Unbelievable.
So, Bob, wrap us up. This is the last one for the night. Where are you gonna rate it?
This is my favorite of the night, actually.
Wow.
So yeah, for whatever reason, this feels like a more whole and like satisfying story for me. Even though Larry isn't maybe the most likable character, I don't know that he's really supposed to be. Um, and I think there's a lot of like ways to interpret this movie. It doesn't necessarily like drive anything home into my knowledge. This is not based on a previous novel like the other two movies we talked about. So I don't know. It feels a little fresh in my mind too. Like I'm watching this and I'm able to sort of like enjoy it for what it is and not have like all these other references and stuff like Frankenstein or Dracula like sort of running through my mind as I watch it. But I think the characters are drawn well enough. I really like the vibe of this small town, the idea of this guy coming home and like this small town sort of wrecking his life. The Romani camp, like all the shots in the woods with the low-lying fog, all of that just like really works for me. And like the idea of his father, like the movie starting with his father having lost a son in a hunting accident and ending with him murdering his only surviving son. It does feel like a complete arc. It feels like this is like a real lived-in town with like a lot of character and layers that you can read into if you so desire. And I like the look of the werewolf and like the inventiveness of the transformation scene. There's just a lot of stuff that I really dig about this. It feels like way more satisfying to watch as a whole than a lot of these other Universal monster movies to me.
You
So
know,
I like it. Five.
it's like,
It's a five from your boy
oh, it's a
Bob.
5. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, Bob.
Like,
Yeah.
see, I think like I kind of agree that like as in terms of my viewing experience for the 3, I think this was my favorite viewing experience of this particular like endeavor to watch the 3 movies for this triple feature.
Hmm.
And the only reason it's not Frankenstein, because it is clearly superior in artistic means and in a lot of other ways, is because I'm so familiar with it. This one felt like a blind spot that was being fulfilled in a way that was enjoyable. So I kind of agree with you on that level.
It's kind of how I
Yeah.
felt about
Yeah.
Invisible Man 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice to watch some of these sort of lesser known Universal monsters. I mean, they're all very well known, but like, you know,
Yeah.
things that haven't been ripped on a million times in the
Yeah,
exact
Less
same way.
iconic of the iconic.
Less iconic. Yeah. Yeah, this one just really works for me. So this is gonna put our aggregate at a 3.8 for the Wolfmang. Let's jump over to our Rotten Tomatoes segment, see what the critics and users have to say. I am your boy Randy running the Maters tonight. Y'all know how to play the game. I am not going to repeat the rules. Randy, I'm going to let you kick this one off. We're starting with the critics, the tomatometer. There are 45 reviews only. It's a very low number. Out of 100, what do you think?
Man, I just don't even know. I'm bad at this. So I don't know, man. Wolfman. I'll just stick with the wager I made last time. I'm gonna say 80. Wait, no, that was what I gave for users. I'll say 85. I'll say 85.
85 from Rand Diesel. Juice, how do you feel?
85. I still think this is going to be higher. I think all these classics, people just give a lot of, especially critics give a lot of flex too. So I'm gonna go 90.
Okay.
90.
Full chance for a tie.
Right. Well, your boy Juice is going to take that one. He is 1% away. It is 91%.
Whoa,
Okay.
that's elite. All
That
right.
is
Gotta
a
match
hell
Bob
yeah.
here.
Randy, you got one more shot. One more shot for
I'm gonna
glory.
guess 0.
I love it. That shit's so funny.
Guess higher than that. I'll give you a hint, buddy. It's higher than that.
3.
Juice, why don't you kick us off here for the audience score? There are over 10,000 ratings, so that's a little more like it. How do you feel
Jesus.
out of 100?
10,000. This is gonna dip. They all dipped. I feel like on the audience score. So 91. How low is this one gonna go? I'll take a 82.
Juice with an 80 deuce. Randy, how do you feel?
Well, perfect number for me to choose is the one I was gonna mimic from last time for users, which is 80, and it also gives us a chance at a tie. So let's go.
Well, we do have a ringy ding on this round, gentlemen.
Congrats.
Randy's redemption with an 80%.
Ringy ding
My
Randy.
perfect, terrible
Ringy
record is
ding.
ruined.
Ringy ding for
Ringy
Randy.
ding Randy.
Fuck.
That's what they call him. What is it? It's a hell what? What's your hell?
Bleed?
It is hell.
Hell! Just leave it at that.
Mhm.
All right then. Where is the critics consensus for The Wolf Mang, 1941? A handsomely told tale with an affecting performance from Lon Chaney Jr., The Wolf Man remains one of the classics of the Universal Horror stable. Duh. That's
Duh.
not really saying much. Here is a negative review I have found from a top critic out of Australia. Lon Chaney Jr. has his first big role as the Wolfman, but it would take a genius to get away with this role. I don't know what the fuck get away with this role.
I don't know what that means either. I think he got away with it. Nobody stopped him. He didn't go to jail. So
Yeah, he got
he's
away
still
with
on
it.
the prowl, as I understand.
Oh.
All right, that's
Haunting the
the only
moors.
negative that I see that's actually written out, and it was stupid, so I'm not gonna read anymore. Boys, we got some trivia for the Wolfman. Let's do
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's totally time for trivia.
It's totally time for trivia. The little poem, here you go. The little poem they say throughout the movie over and over again is even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. Yeah, like I said, that I think that's really just sort of again getting to that like more baser animalistic instinct that's within humans that sometimes we act upon and it ain't right.
Well, I got a little beast
Who's
in
the
us, eh,
we?
boys? Sometimes, you just gotta go
Some
out
of
and
us-
howl at the moon.
Some of us want a little more, am I right?
Sometimes you just gotta get your nut. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
Yeah, you could put it that way, I
Here we
suppose.
go gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May.
I saw one blurb on this saying like maybe this movie's just about puberty. I don't think it's quite as simple as that, but like he grows a bunch of hair and wants to bang. Like I don't
But he's
really
also
know.
Werewolf for mitzvah.
Spooky scary. He's also a grown man.
He sure is.
He's like a 50-year-old puberty boy, I guess.
I mean, we can't all be as lucky as Randy, just covered in hair at the age of 12 or whatever.
You know,
Why do you know about Randy's 12-year-old hair, Bob?
We were talking about it about 3 hours ago.
Bob looks close. We'll just say that. He's watching pretty closely for the hair.
Damn.
You know me. Jack P. Pierce, again, second time we're mentioning him this
Nice.
night. He achieved the Wolfman's iconic makeup primarily with a rubber nose and yak hair, which was singed with a curling iron and attached to Lon Chaney Jr.'s face, arms, legs, etc., with spirit gum.
Hmm.
Took about 6 hours to apply, 3 hours to get off. Lon Chaney Jr. did not enjoy the makeup process, which I feel like nobody does. Yada yada yada. There's a quote about him complaining that is not interesting. Evelyn Ankers had difficulty working with Lon Chaney Jr. Apparently, he's maybe a bit of a bastard man. Already angry at Ankers because she was given his dressing room, the studio was apparently punishing him for vandalizing studio property while he was wasted. The actor constantly would irritate her, nicknaming her Shankers, referencing like a shank, and then a shanker being someone who would stab you on the back with a shank, which is like a homemade knife, if you're unaware. He would also play like shitty little practical jokes where he would sneak up on her in his full makeup and like jump out and scare her. So,
Boy, that sounds
was
like
he
a bastard, man.
a grown man or was he not, Juice?
Sounds like an alpha to me. Alpha wolf. Alpha
Oh,
wolf
yeah.
man.
Totally. So, according to the documentary on the recent Wolfman DVD collection, the brand new DVD of the Wolfman.
I'm reading something.
Mm.
Randy. The script for the Wolfman was apparently influenced by writer Kurt Siodmak's, I know I'm butchering that one, his experience in Nazi Germany. Siodmak had been living a normal life in Germany only to have it thrown into chaos, and himself on the run when the Nazis took control, just as Larry Talbot finds his normal life thrown into chaos and himself on the run once he's turned into a werewolf. Also, the Wolfman himself can be seen as a metaphor for the Nazis and otherwise good man who was transformed into a vicious killing animal who knows who his next victim is when he sees the symbol of a pentagram or a star on their palm. So that's an interesting kind of interpretation. I don't know that the movie really supports that interpretation necessarily,
Yeah.
but I guess you could read it that way.
I mean, yeah, you can read it any way you want. So
yeah, sure.
But that is interesting. Like, yeah, there's a lot of that happening. Obviously, artists having to escape a fascist dictatorship. So I mean,
yeah, and
I don't know,
apparently
it
this
is interesting
movie,
that's part of this.
This movie premiered 2 days after Pearl Harbor, which is another interesting tie-in to the war
dude.
there.
Not a great time for a movie to come out.
Yeah, probably a very low attendance for this one. This is the last bit of trivia I have here. Evelyn Akers later recalled during the filming of the final confrontation, she was required to faint and then stay on the floor until the fight scene between Lon Chaney Jr. and Claude Rains was finished. Akers recalled that during the one take, she stayed on the floor so long with a low-hanging chemical fog being used in the scene that it caused her to pass out. When the take was over, the film crew began rearranging the cameras and lights for the next take. Not noticing the Akers had not emerged from the floor, finally someone on the crew realized she was missing, and they pulled her up and revived her. So,
God damn.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Back in the day, man, there's some shady shit.
For real, dude.
Chemical fog.
It was not even 10 years before this that one of the original Tin Man died of lead poisoning because they just slapped lead on his fucking ass. So,
God damn.
And they put fucking what's her name?
Yeah.
Dorothy Gale, whatever that actress's name,
Garland.
Judy Garland on fucking on fat pills or something, whatever those
speed
diet pills. Yeah, speed. Yeah, essentially. Just go ahead and get addicted to pills. That'll wear off those baby.
Child,
baby
you're too
rolls.
fat for this role. That
That'll
we're gonna sexualize you
16-year-old
in.
fat
so
ass.
Why don't you
Take
go
some
ahead and
speed.
take this drugs.
You want to be famous, don't you?
God damn.
God damn.
Not. I'm already famous.
That is oh yeah. That's all the trivia we got. Let's go ahead and do one big fat cooter of the week.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the week.
Juice, what is a cooter and why do we hunt them?
Oh, Cooter's a character type. And a straight chillin'. Exclusive. Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a cooter, but we want the cooter with the most points. 5 points of cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall look and attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, are some of these universal monsters universal cooters? What do you think?
I mean, the fucking Invisible Man, for the love.
It's a
Good
master,
Lord.
man. I will
God.
say though, here's what I think. I'm making.
I think he's
statement here.
misunderstood.
I think he's actually kind
Here
of a
it
good
comes.
guy. No,
If you think
Probably the
about it.
best of them.
one thing I was gonna say though, as far as hunting for cooters, is he is invisible, but I don't think there's anything that he does that's specifically sexually deviant, unlike our boy Hollow Mang.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hollow
that's
Mang
all
is the
he does.
bastard.
That's
Yeah.
the only thing he
That's
does.
the only thing. So,
Somebody
am I right
saw this
in
movie and was
that?
like, why isn't he molesting people? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
If
this
I was
movie.
invisible,
about.
I would definitely no.
I
But
would
all I
never
do.
stop molesting if I was invisible.
so that's he doesn't do anything sexually deviant, right?
I don't think so. Yeah,
No,
So,
fair
I don't
point.
think there's
what?
anything
Fair point.
sexual in any of
So,
these movies.
You know, Larry might be our.
I mean, yeah, Wolfman
Okay,
is.
yeah, okay, no, that's fair. That's fair.
But
that's like it's pretty low lying.
but we'll go
Yeah.
back to Invisible
Sexual
Mang
deviant.
first. So, smug arrogance. He just
Yeah.
he just wants a reign of terror. He just wants to roll over people.
How about that reign of terror? Well, let's go for that.
You know what we should
You
do?
could really go for a reign of
Reign of
terror.
terror.
Reign of Terror. Yeah. It's been too long.
So smug arrogance. Overall patheticness. I don't think so. He's pretty in control for most of it. He's just kind of doing as he pleases.
He does not strike me as
In
pathetic.
control
yeah.
is not the way I would describe it, but
Well,
at least,
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
having
He's doing what he
achieving
wants
his will,
without-
yeah.
yeah.
So manipulation. Yeah, he's
Manipulation.
manipulating Kim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kemp is
You're-
he's just like demanding him.
He
You're
trying to
gonna
make
help
him
me
his
murder
reek.
some folks. Yeah.
And looking attire though, he's looking pretty fly.
For an invisible guy.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
He's
He looks
invisible.
cool in the bandages, but if
The
you
bandage-
saw
it's a
someone
cool
like
atta-
that in real life, you'd be like, "What the fuck?" It would freak you out. Like, yeah, but it looks it's iconic. Yeah,
Pretty cool.
I mean, what else is he gonna wear? He's like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I
mean,
don't know.
he
Yeah.
rocks the shirt cock for a minute, which is
The shirt cock?
yeah. He just has a shirt on and nothing else. Yeah, shirt cock
The
in it.
Donald
Oh,
Duck.
he goes Winnie the Pooh style. Okay.
He does. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just
So,
pounding mustard instead
I don't
of
know.
honey.
He's not hitting enough, is he?
I don't know. He's got two solid.
Too solid.
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody else comes
Why
close.
don't we go to old Henry real quick?
Henry
Oh,
Frankenstein.
yeah,
Smug arrogance. No, it's a yes.
completely.
He
Yeah,
thinks
you know,
he's God.
He knows what it's
He
like
is
to be
God,
God and
yeah.
all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've all been there.
Yeah.
So smug arrogance, manipulation. Does he try to manipulate anybody though? He's kind of pretty straight up about it, isn't he?
I mean, he is robbing graves and like stealing body parts out of laboratories, and
He
I
doesn't
mean,
manipulate to make that happen.
Yeah, he doesn't like she's not
He's-
tricking
he's a
anybody, he's just a
thief,
thief.
but-
Yeah. But he's not like
I see your point, but yeah,
he's
I
not
think
talking anybody into it. Or he's
I
not like
guess
trying
tough one
to
to. It's tough
Well, I
one
mean,
to pin on.
if we saw him like talking to some grave digger or something, trying to like
Yeah.
pay him off or something, then maybe. But
when the other doctor, like his teacher, Wagner, whatever his fucking name is, I can't remember his name now.
Baldwin.
He like does kind of try and talk him
Baldwin.
into it, and then he ends up trying to do an autopsy. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching for that one. but-
yeah,
No, I think you have a point though. Like, but I think that speaks more to patheticness because what he does is they decide, you know what, this was a bad idea after all. Just hey, doctor, go ahead and kill this
yeah,
thing
go
for
ahead and
me.
take care of this.
I gotta go
Yeah,
get
he
married.
is a little
Yeah.
pathetic, and
He does peace out,
What he
yeah.
like passes out or something? He just can't handle all the pressure and doesn't take care of it himself.
can't even handle the pressure of being God. What a little bitch.
I know it's not that hard. Okay.
It's just being God. What's it like?
All you have to
Not
do
big
is
deal.
dominate.
You gotta go out and howl at the moon every now and then, you know?
You gotta channel your inner Larry.
Oh God.
There you go.
But I think he's pathetic. I think he's
Yeah, I think
pathetic.
so.
So smug arrogance,
pathetic.
patheticness.
Looking at tire, not so much.
Looking at tired. We didn't really
Sexual
hit
deviance, not so
manipulation, not
much.
really sexual deviance.
How are we not
Yeah.
gonna have a
I
cooter
know.
either? That
Well,
is
let's go to
blowing my
Larry
mind.
now.
Let's go to Larry. He might be the best chance at a cooter here.
Larry, there are times he's got the smug arrogance, I would say. It's very sure
Earlier,
of
yeah.
himself.
When he's laying his Mac down, yeah, but any other time he's not really.
Yeah.
Laying his Mac down. Yeah.
His dirty Mac down.
It is a dirty
I
Mac.
like now you kids like your Mac extra dirty.
Extra. I don't like that.
Looking at tire, I mean,
Oh,
especially
man.
when you brought the kids into it.
I know how you grown ass adults like your Mac.
There you go.
Extra dirty.
how do we feel about the looking at tire? Because and normally he's normal, but
He's wearing
counting
suits
the wolf
when he's not a
wearing
wolf.
suits, and he's got a cane, and that cane's pretty
That cane's
slick,
pretty
I guess.
sick.
Yeah.
Kane's sick. Even though he
Yeah.
doesn't actually use it as a cane, he just kind of holds it like a
Yeah.
It's his regulator. He just
Yeah,
beats
it
the
really
shit out of
is.
things with
Yeah.
it.
like a shillelagh. It's crazy.
I like too because we get the silver bullet thing a lot. Silver. I kind of like the twist that he just beat the shit out of it with a silver cane. Like, that's pretty badass. I'm not gonna
Or
lie.
silver
Kinda
knife,
is,
she
yeah.
says.
Yeah.
See, that's a true alpha wolf right there. He just steps up with his regulator.
Alpha wolf here.
Wearing his suit and his regulator. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
patheticness, I would say he reaches pathetic levels sometimes. I think he gets quite pathetic sometimes.
I don't know if I feel
No.
that. Like he's kind of a
Pathetic.
dummy, but
Yeah, he's pretty dumb.
I feel like he's kind of going through it, but yeah, he is dumb, but like
It's I don't know. Like also too, okay, patheticness is giving the cure to your ailment and immediately giving it away. Like somebody
he's like
just
questioning if any of it is even true at the
I
time.
know, but why
though.
not just wear it? Then just wear it.
It doesn't. It's not his vibe.
Oh my god, it's not as cool as the
he's got a vibe to maintain, Justin.
He's got a vibe.
Have
He's
you
a
not
man
thought of the
about
vibes?
town.
You didn't want to hit looking at tire, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
don't
tough
know.
to pin him
Maybe there's
down.
no. Are we not going to have any cooter day? I'm pretty surprised Invisible Man
I
didn't
am.
hit it on us.
Me too,
Super
man.
surprised. I thought that was going to be a slam dunk, actually.
Yeah. I guess back in the 30s they weren't sure about the cooters yet.
What about Maria, the little girl that likes throwing flowers?
Oh
in the lake?
yeah.
What a
She's pretty pathetic.
her.
you know?
Manipulative.
We got her.
You can't even
Mhm.
swim.
Lord knows she's a deviant.
Yeah, I don't know, boys. We might
Maybe all the dads in this are fucking good.
Dads.
Yeah,
Fathers are the
dad.
cooter, actually.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the other? Oh, the dad of Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
He's so weirdly aloof. It's fucking
He's
weird.
kind of he's just
He's like, well, my son almost died. Let's drink to the future of the family. What the
Cheers.
fuck?
but don't give it to the help.
Oh,
It was also weird how they all come in and they're like, we thought you might like your wine, Mr. Frankenstein. It's like, what the fuck?
you thought right.
Ladies.
Well,
Let me-
thank you.
let
That
me
was a
get
great
that.
idea, and I'll beat you for it later. I am a monster.
Yeah, I don't know, boys. I guess there's no cooter
Free.
this week, this Halloween season.
Only Dracula was around.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, Fritz,
Oh, Fritz, good call, Randy.
dude.
Fritz is a
Dude,
son
I don't
of
know
a
if there's
bitch.
enough screen time for him, but what a fucking
No, I
pathetic
think
little
so.
reek of a boy.
Smug arrogance, one, is he's just taunting the monster for no reason. He's just being a dick.
He's just a
Yeah,
mean little
yeah.
shit.
Fucking
That
good
checks
call,
out.
Randy. I think
And
he's gonna
totally
hit it.
pathetic.
Very pathetic. He's
Very
just
pathetic on a
so
number of
pathetic.
levels.
Almost every. Yeah. So he's pathetic, smug arrogance, and manipulation. He doesn't tell Frankenstein that he takes the
About the
criminal
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also is incompetent as shit. If that's not a cooter
Looking
thing,
at
but it is
tire.
something to
I
say.
mean,
Yeah, put Fritz in the fucking.
I mean, yeah,
Pokey.
that sounds.
Fritz.
Oh.
We got good call, Randy. Oh,
we
you
got him.
saved
Whew.
the
We almost
saved
made
the
a
week.
huge error.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Almost.
we almost let a cooter run
People
the
are about to
streets
call
unabated.
in and just
I know.
laugh at us for our
Take our Cooter Hunter
incompetence.
card.
They're all gonna laugh at us.
But we got him, Fritz. Good call. Good call.
Boys are idiots. You ruined Halloween.
Damn.
Cool. We got him. Lock him up. Throw away the
All
key.
All right.
I don't think we're gonna have time for voicemails. Unfortunately, we got like 4 of them this week too.
Wow, okay.
But
we
we'll
do
save
have a
them for
time
next
limit,
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Mhm.
save them for next week. It is a triple feature show, so
Can only record 3 hours. Sorry.
can only do what we
Just
can do.
packed
So
assholes to elbows in here.
Damn.
yeah, hope you guys are having a very happy Halloween. Hopefully you had a chance to watch some of these classic Universal monster movies and
Yeah,
sort
what
of
you
join
think,
us on
boys?
this ride.
Good picks for me, right? I brought some unique
I mean,
classics to the
Oh yeah, nobody ever
the
thinks to watch the
podcast.
Universal monster movies.
We didn't for 12
during
years. We didn't for
Halloween.
12
Nobody.
years.
Oh, and we never thought about it
boys.
once either. It's
I'm
never
just
come up before.
saying, it's a good representation from Soju over
We've
here.
done 4 of them now, so like half of the
Yeah.
primary 8 anyway.
I actually did start rewatching Bride as well, and I was too tired to finish it. But
I've
yeah,
still
I
never
would like to
seen-
knock them all out.
I've still never seen Bride or The Mummy all the way through. Those are the 2.
I didn't finish The Mummy yet, so maybe, yeah.
From what
maybe
I
it was just
understand, The
too
Mummy
hot.
isn't much of a horror movie, honestly. Like,
Really?
at least that
It
first
started
one.
off very similar to like the Mummy remake. Similar
Yeah,
kind of
but
vibe.
I just like I
Brendan
haven't
Fraser,
seen it, but like
just-
just from reputation, I've heard that first one is not what you expect from Mummy movies. Like, it's not like though it's not the Frankenstein's monster of lore. It's just it's a proto mummy. But I don't know that for sure.
So we're going to be back next week with a brand new show. As always, we're talking about the last You Pick the Flick of the Year. This one was chosen by your boy Naderade. The movie is everybody's favorite, Heartland of Darkness from 2022.
Be prepared to be bedazzled.
I'm
This
prepared to be bedazzled.
one is on Tubi, so if you want to check it out, you can watch it on Tubi for free. Heartland of Darkness. Watch it, I guess. I don't know.
I guess
I don't have high hopes for this because Naderade, he's a bastard man who has chosen a terrible film for us to talk about intentionally. So
Cuda was right under our
I
noses
may
all
come up with
along.
the shtick to save this show.
save us.
I'm gonna save it. Don't you
no,
worry.
Please.
we
I'm
need
gonna save it.
saving.
Save us. Yeah. Call in for next week, 904-638-3231. We'll just do mostly a show where we listen to voicemails and not really talk about this shitty ass movie. Let's do that. We'll do like 12 voicemails next week. Let us know how your Halloween season went. What was your favorite part of the this year's Halloween season? What's some cool shit you did? Let us know.
Let us know.
Hit us up, 904-638-3231. Heartland of Darkness next week. Hope you guys are having a lovely, lovely Halloween. And until next week, as always, everybody, please keep chilling.
Here we go gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May.